technically, hopefully, rather, now we're in the green room, so you can just sort of chill. Your guard doesn't have to be totally up yet.
All right.
My guard is always
But
up.
I am being listened to, right? They will hear me.
Oh, they totally are.
I will hear
They can even hear your thoughts at this point. I've got that upgrade.
You got that AI upgrade.
Yeah, I put that. Yeah, I got a little AI bug that'll shoot a dart into people's butts. That'll shoot a cord into their brain. Works every time.
The butt dart.
Yep. You ever see that movie? Oh, God.
Nice.
You ever see that? I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a movie with Gene Simmons as the villain and Tom Selleck as the hero cop. And Gene Simmons controlled an army of robot spiders who shot acid at people. Do you remember this?
Oh, I don't remember that one. No, I remember the Kiss movie, but I don't remember that one.
No, yeah, this is definitely not a Kiss movie because Gene Simmons wasn't playing the Demon Lord or whatever his name is.
Is it called Runaway?
It is called Runaway. Thank you.
I'm going to have to look it up then.
Yes.
Yeah, I see it now.
I watched it as a child, and then later it became popular on the internet. I saw some reviews of it. It is one of the best. What is up, Brian Maxwell? One of the best Tom Selleck / Gene Simmons vehicles out there. Maybe the only one, but still one of the best.
I'm going to guess it's the only one, but yeah, it says here, Runaway, the 80s sci-fi movie you need to see.
Yeah, and the thing about it was, like, the spiders, the robotic spiders full of acid scared me. But what was really bad was the gun that Gene Simmons had that would shoot bullets that were basically programmed for your body heat signature.
Oh, nice. Dude.
And, like, they would shoot around corners and shit. It was like the hilarious, like, monster cam, but it was a slow bullet that would just overcrank the camera afterwards.
And Matt remembers that movie.
Oh, it was good.
Gene was an evil scientist.
Yeah,
or something.
he wanted, because Tom Selleck's name in the movie is Ramsey. He goes, Ramsey! He's always out there yelling, shooting acid at people. Fucking crazy.
I'll bet you Ryan Maxwell's seen it. That guy's seen everything.
He must. It's a good one. I mean, everybody should see it at some point.
Oh, Ryan Maxwell, we watched an episode of Popeye with our son today.
One of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
This came on a double bill when I was a kid, so you've hopefully seen these two, but it was Popeye meets Sinbad, where Bluto is playing Sinbad.
Oh, that's a classic. Yeah, Ryan knows all about.
Oh my God,
that's the one with the cinema scope, like the rotoscope.
Yes, we just watched a not brand new, but like a cleaned up version where like the rotoscoping, like everything in the background is nice and crisp, and it's even weirder as an adult than it was as a child.
Oh, it's so great, dude.
Ryan Maxwell says, Tom Selleck in Cold Foot, the Maurice Wolin story. Gene Simmons plays the shoe that fell off.
Gene Simmons can't play the shoe. Gene Simmons, if Tom Selleck, no, because he's the villain. Gene Simmons has to play Maurice Wolin, and Tom Selleck is Chris Hansen.
So who's the shoe?
The shoe is not a person. We're not putting on an avant-garde like Broadway play. This isn't the vagina monologues. It's Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons back at it again in their 70s playing Maurice Wolin and Chris Hansen.
Well, that Popeye episode was nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah, it was great. It came with the double bill. Moral of the story is with the Alibaba, where Bluto played Alibaba with his 40 Thieves.
Yeah, another great one, man.
So good.
There was 3 of them. There was also help me out, Ryan. There's Alibaba, Sinbad, and Aladdin. Aladdin was the 3 that are like the pinnacle of that style of animation.
The VHS copy I had didn't have the Aladdin one. It had the just the double header. But boy, oh boy.
Jameson Bognuda says Chris Hansen comes out trying to sell the Predator on a reverse mortgage.
Whoa. What a world we live in. But seriously, how come we can't get someone to greenlight a modern day sequel to Runaway where Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons are trying to kill each other?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's a classic. I'll be looking that up after the show today because I want to be in on the fun.
It's beautiful 80s nostalgia. Alibaba says Ryan Maxwell's favorite Alibaba was okay. I don't know. Here's the thing. They all have a little bit of something to dip into the pot, right? Sinbad has all of the animals who are afraid of Sinbad, and like the whole like those weird monkeys and gorillas who look like humans that I think are just human slaves that Sinbad is like glued hair to. I think Bluto, when he's playing Sinbad, is a sex pervert, and those poor dudes are just like unwitting bears. Know what I mean? He chains them up with a couple of dragons and a couple of snakes and bears and lions, and he goes, "Hey, guess what? These ones are special."
And you know, if you really want to get technical about it, it's in air quotes, not PC. The dialogue and stuff in that.
No,
totally.
no, definitely
No.
not. What is funny though is like, speaking of the non-PC-ness of it all, when Sinbad like hears Popeye singing his little song out there with Wimpy flipping the burger and shit, and he like sees olive oil on the front of the boat, and she's like, a wisp of straw blowing in the breeze.
Yeah. But he follows her entire body with that.
Comical eyepiece is like,
that.
woo! And I was like, is it gonna freeze on something? Because what about her is like the moneymaker, right?
He's probably been on that island a long time.
Right.
But he has to be going. Where's he get all his treasures and stuff? He pulled all those diamonds out of like serpents' bellies. You telling me that like one lady wasn't swooned by that?
And he said in the song that he gets all the ladies. So
It was 1936.
and so how come his name had a D in it? Is it just silent?
Sinbad?
Yeah, Sindbad is what it said on the thing.
I think it is.
Wow, Sinbad.
I think it is. I've seen a country mile of Sinbad movies now, and I think it is Sind. I think Sinbad with no D is the comedian,
Is
and
the-
no one likes that.
the other dude.
Yeah, that's not.
Now, I will say Sinbad, when he hosted Saturday Night Live back in the 90s, was really funny. And other than that, I never liked Sinbad, but that episode on Saturday Night Live, keep an eye out for it. It's pretty funny.
What about when he was in Jingle All the Ways, the disgruntled postman? Does that do anything for you?
No.
Damn
No,
it.
thank you.
It's a good one, though.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. That's what Baked Salmon says.
Cool.
He loves that. All right.
I hope you didn't actually soundbite 2 weekends ago when I said, please don't clip that one.
No, I did not. If they're going to be like wildly inappropriately off topic that'll be damaging to your reputation, I won't. But this one I did keep.
I made some spaghetti, but I dropped some sauce on the floor.
That one I fucking love.
Nice, dude.
All right. But that being said, it is now time to exit the green room. Let's get this party started.
Dog.
Okay.
Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. Another show this week, and you're probably like, whoa, another one. Stop. But wait, there's more. I've got a very special guest. You've heard him in the green room. You maybe saw his picture in the thumbnail. Obviously, you've been waiting for it with bated breath as I have. Baked Salmon is back on the show. Welcome back, my friend.
Good to see you guys. Hear you guys, I should say. Thank you for having me back. It's been a long time coming. You guys asked me to do this probably 2 months ago. I can't remember. I fell ill and then promptly took 8 weeks off of doing anything with you folks. But I'm glad to be back. So thanks for having me.
That's just the way it goes. Sometimes those weird coughs or colds or whatever, they'll stick for weeks. So I get it. It's better to be at the top of your game than at the bottom.
There you go. And I am at the top of my game. So
Radical. Speaking of, I got no segue. Here's Krista, our producer.
Hi.
Top of the game. She's a basketball player by trade. No, just kidding.
Hey.
But I did pick up this beautiful, you can't see it yet, Salmon, but in the future, if you ever tune in, you'll see this. There's this beautiful embossment of this Avon Stein, and right there front and center is a salmon.
Baked salmon.
Right there for the fans and for the friends.
Oh, bitching.
I saw that. I was like, oh my God, why don't I have one of these already? And so, yeah, there it is. Let's get everything rolling. So what you're going to be seeing here tonight, we're not going to be seeing Ambrosio interacting with Chris at all because that is just too depressing. When Ambrosio gets in front of Chris, I was about to say Salmon. When Ambrosio gets in front of Chris, it's just like this sad kid. Like, he's the kid who maybe got swept up in a wicked scheme with some other kids in the class, right? And they somehow scooted away with nary, like, an acknowledgement in the crime, but he gets caught and so immediately starts crying and talking about what a sad boy he is.
Sad boy.
Oh, dude, that just brought back, a memory for me. And you know what? I'm glad that we're not doing that version and that you agreed with me when you first asked me to do the Ambrosio interrogation. And then after I thought about it, I'm like, which one does he mean? Does he mean the confrontation with Hansen? Because I didn't really enjoy watching that one so much. It was pretty dark when it first came out. When it was first finally released, I put out 3 videos on it. I just separated out like an hour's worth of analysis into 3 videos, but it really wasn't very enjoyable to watch. I find him a pitiable character, and but the memory you brought back when you said that the other kids get away scot clean and he's left holding the bag. I remember getting drunk with an overweight friend, and we all went to hang outside the roller skate rink, and we were all drunk, but he clearly was more drunk because we said, oh, look, he's being too crazy. Let's go get the car and come back because my friend drove. And when we came back, we drove by the roller skate rink and he was on the ground with cops around him. And we're just like, we're on home from here.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he got left holding the bag. Kind of got a little bit Ambrosio, I guess.
I've got a little story to tag onto that one. However, the police don't show up at the end.
And I have a story after you.
So check this out. One of the few first times I'm getting drunk as a 21/22-year-old.
Okay.
I'm with my friend and his cousin is from out of town, a know-it-all New Yorker. And so, we're all getting plastered on like Vanilla Stoli and Vanilla Coke because those are the kind of cool kids we were.
Yeah.
And so, instead of running to the bathroom, what brought this up is he was morbidly obese. My morbidly obese friend decides to, instead of walking back to the rear of the building to get at that sweet toilet, he decides he's going to piss onto his pool deck. So I go, man, what's up with that? Your bathroom's like 13 feet that way. He goes, don't worry about it, dude. I got it covered. I go, this is weird. So he like turns and throws his head over his shoulder. He goes, I think I'm about to throw up or pass. And he can't say out before he hits the deck.
Oh.
So, and since he's a big fat guy, so he just basically rolled onto his back like a harp seal. No injury was sustained. However, his ding-dong was flying all over the place with the remnants of the whiz.
Oh,
so
dude.
I go, what up with that? So his dong is flapping around. I go, I'm out of here. I bolt. I grab Matt, his cousin. I go, Matt, he just fell down out there and his dick is hanging out. You've got to go put it back. So he was the one left holding the bag, the ball bag.
Gross.
So to speak. But
My short story is I was in college around, I was 19 or 20, and a whole bunch of us, like 12 of us, went down to Ocean City, Maryland for...
It's like Jump City, but for oceans.
Yeah. So I had mono. My mom didn't want me to go, but I went anyway. I was like, Mom, I'm fine.
I got to give mono to people at the beach.
She's like, don't go in the water because your spleen will rupture if it gets hit by a wave. And I was like, okay.
And then a shark will come and eat it.
So I didn't drink at all. And all these people,
no water, no nothing.
I didn't drink alcohol at all because I was sick or I had mono. And we stayed in this condo that was supposed to be, I was told, was enough to fit all of us. It was a 2-bedroom condo for 12 people. Everybody was fucking partying.
Whatever math somebody tells you, if there's 12 people, when did you find out there were 2 bedrooms?
When we got there.
See, I wouldn't buy that. What, 12 rowdy college jackasses? Does someone have a mansion you're all going to crash in? Somebody should have been thinking. Come on.
So we get there. They're all partying. Everybody gets hammered. They're yelling out the balcony and all this stuff at 2 a.m., 4 a.m. Well, the next morning comes around and we get a knock on the door from the landlord and police officers, and nobody cleaned up all of their fucking alcohol, and only one person was 21 years old that was there. So everybody got cited for it, and I was the only one that went and did community service for it because everybody else had their priest write them a letter saying that they did community service and they really didn't. And
Right.
so I
So
was
why
the only
didn't
one.
you give the fucking your priest the 7 shillings or whatever to purchase
I
the
didn't have a
indulgence
priest.
and- Whatever. Like for the jingling of a coin, you can get one of them to be like, oh, assalamu alaikum, and give you a little thing and put a wafer on your head, and you're absolved of all your law sins.
Well, I worked at a food kitchen for 20 hours and I learned how to cut peppers and it was fine.
It never worked. You know why I know it doesn't work? It didn't work because she cuts cross-handed. She'll hold the peppers and then bring the knife to the other side of her hand to chop them. I don't think they taught you a thing. Or it was a prank. You got pranked.
They totally pwned you.
Yeah, she cuts peppers like a blind person.
Kitty, Connecticut says 2 queen beds per room and some pull-out couches. That's how OC works. Yeah, I slept on a pull-out couch at the hotel with my boyfriend at the time, and
Here's the whatever. I don't want to get too deep into a rabbit hole that isn't Vincent Ambrosio, but I would never go someplace where I knew Here's the thing.
I was in college and I wanted to get away from my parents.
Whatever. I was desperate to get away from things and people too. However, I would always look ahead to where my ironically head would rest at the end of all this. And I couldn't see a clear vision of a pillow at the end. I said, fuck this, I'm out. At the end,
Dude, I never thought that far ahead.
Yeah. When I was 19, I didn't do that.
always on my mind. I would go, hey, after Denny's, what's happening? They're, we're going to crash at Steve's place. I go, is Steve fucking rich? No, he's got a studio apartment and there's 12 of us. I'll catch you dudes tomorrow.
My pull-out couch game is strong, says Jameson.
I bet it is.
Matt says my buddy had a party.
Couch game.
Matt says my buddy had a party as his rental was getting demolished. Everyone was smashing windows and graffitiing the walls. The next day we found out they had new tenants ready to move in. It was a lie to get my buddy to move out. Oh, damn.
That's why you don't fucking...
Oh, no.
That's stupid. Right? I would never... anything you rent to someone, as soon as you, let them... Because there's a thing. That mule that you love so much, when it's rented, you're going to beat it. Don't tell them oh yeah, we're just going to tear it down anyway, because even the most upstanding and least destructive individual is going to want to fuck shit up if you go, well, it's going to get torn down anyway.
Yeah, I'll just help you demolish it.
Knock that shit out for you.
We had 13 people in a 3-bedroom 1 year. Never again, says Kitty.
Oh, man.
Like sardine.
Well, I've done some destructive, stuff on apartment being vacated, and I don't think that was good. I don't look back on that fondly. I was a bad kid. I was a punker, and I was writing my name in the stucco on the ceiling with a pole that we ripped out of the closet.
Nice.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be random chaotic things happening. But, here's the thing. If you're living like you're in a Taiwanese prison or like you're somewhere south of the border where it's mob rule, there's 13 of you, 1 toilet, you might as well be washing at a communal water pump with rats and flies buzzing around. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So many people in a house. Anyway. Hey, we're watching Vincent Ambrosio, so buckle up, guys. Here's another thing, too.
How old is he?
He's 20-something. Everybody calls him the Undertaker Predator. I like to call him the New York Cowboy.
Yeah, he looks nothing like the Undertaker. The trench coat that he wears is not...
I never see him roll his eyes back to show the whites.
That's true.
If he did that to scare off Chris Hansen, then yeah, call him the Undertaker Predator.
Yeah.
He's the second Predator to show up with a cowboy hat. Do you know the first?
A Thomas Coffin.
There you go.
Right, because if you cough too often, a coffin, they'll carry you often.
Wow.
That's Thomas Coffin's motto. Anyway, here we go. This is Vincent Ambrosio. He's very sad. Let's hear what he has to say. Oh, God. There we go. Oh, P.S. The video footage is like from 1903. Somehow they smuggled in like one of the old Victrola cameras in.
I think they filmed it in the cargo bay of a transport plane.
Seriously? Oh my God.
I just love the toilet paper.
Yeah. He starts off pretty amiable.
And why wouldn't you though, right? Because like you're this guy. Even through the terrible lens of this camera, she still could probably pull a 7 in perfect clarity. So, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, hey, what's up? I think they double locked. I'm just trying to be helpful. I wasn't here to meet a child. Whoops.
Hair by Brillo.
He's so sad. He's in 480p.
Right.
Hey, Polly's Cracker.
Is that where you grew up?
No, I grew up here. They came up here.
In this,
When he got arrested the first time.
this footage makes him like, because his face keeps shifting, he's like one of those pig-faced doctors and nurses from the Twilight Zone, right?
You're right, dude.
Like,
with the dark eyes.
Yeah, like she came in and she's like, ah, like, but that's the thing. He's the only ugly one. Everyone else is still beautiful. Mm-hmm. So sad, Polly. He's a sad boy. Oh, he's got that like blown out mom jeans, and look at his, like they left his pockets pulled out.
Well, he couldn't fix him. He was handcuffed.
McPetridge, yeah.
Yeah, and like they just uncuffed him. Like, come on, man, pull yourself together. Like these giant mom jeans. Like, it's not often you get to use the term "gunt" on a man, but he's got one.
You're right. You're right. And here he is getting ready to sign away all his rights. Just initial here where it says that you're screwed.
Yeah, they always tell him about the provision, like you can have as much toilet paper as you want, and to prove it, they put a rule right there.
Here it is. You can't take this one with you, though. Just gotta check my phone here.
They always want to check their damn phone. D-Mac pocket.
Pocket.
Yeah.
She was jumping on Whisper.
Oh yeah. And like,
Did they read your rights downstairs? They did. Okay.
okay, I'm gonna have to do it 3 more times.
Thing, I never heard of it before. I never heard of it after.
Is what?
Deal with different people now.
Whisper as an app to hook up.
Yeah, like when this was all happening, like actually, like when it was being released live, I looked into Whisper, and like if you're not a pervert, it's not a totally useless app. Like it's kind of fun in that you can have whatever. I mean, it's obviously, since it's on the internet and it's an app that goes to your phone, it's full of sex perverts. Mm-hmm. But if you can like skim that layer of scum off the top, there's some interesting stuff there.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. I wouldn't know.
But again, it's mostly sex perverts, so it's kind of like diving into a bit, like if someone accidentally spilled 30 tons of crude oil into your pool, but like at the bottom there was like a 3-foot stack of like clean water, and you're like, I'll get to it.
Eventually. Oh, they're supposed to say inside out for safety.
Yeah, for safety's sake, keep those pockets out. You wouldn't want to sneak something back into those pockets.
Right. Yeah, maybe like a pen or something, I suppose.
Like that guy who tried to, it was like the opposite of Jeff Stacy, where he tried to stick the pen in the cop's neck, and the cop immediately like shut him down because he looked like a scarecrow.
You don't want to do that.
One of the funniest things, like, here's the thing. I don't condone violence of any kind, but if you're going to be the type of knucklehead to do that sort of shit, here's what you shouldn't do to telegraph it. You don't look at the pen, look at the cop's neck, grab the pen, hold it like you're about to kill someone with it, stare longingly at the dude's neck one more time, and then give a big ol' wind up. Because by the time the dude's hand was above his head, the dude had already gotten 17 mails, 13 texts, and 1 certified package from the dude telling him he was going to stab him in the neck. And like,
nice.
That's definitely not Quilter Northern. It's probably Big Roll. Yeah, it's like the Great Value toilet paper, 1 ply.
This is the depressing shit they put in like
Public bathrooms?
not even public bathrooms, like truck stop bathrooms and airports. Like Target doesn't even put this shit in there.
Hey, Amy Ramirez.
So much, like, really awkward time has to be spent filling out paperwork in the first few minutes where you go like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Like,
Right.
this might be the worst part.
I understand what you signed here, right?
Knuckle enema. Enema. Knuckle enema. Sorry.
Knuckle enema.
So she just asked him, like she referred to what he just initialed, and you're okay with talking to me, right? You understand what you just signed, and he said yes.
They don't.
That's a major dun 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 moment because everything that goes on from here, you're just signing your death warrant.
Right. And that's the kind of the good part of this and kind of the bad part is because like the stupid ones give us comedy gold, but if they all did like a Todd Spikes and go like, here's my name, badge number, and you know, I want my lawyer, you go, whoa, because that seems so sinister. I'd rather have like, you know, sad clowns like Ambrosio be like, here's my life story.
I want to know. God, I want to know Todd's.
I don't want to know anything about Todd Spikes. I hope he was thrown into a Guatemalan hellhole somewhere.
What would you like?
It's a third world prison is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I understand you're dealing with some medical stuff and getting your medication balanced out correctly. And
For what?
I know you said bipolar. Is it bipolar depression?
Oh.
And how long have you been dealing with that?
13, 12, 13.
Okay.
As long as the victim I was going to assault was alive.
Looks like about the last month to 6 weeks you've been
And
communicating.
how?
Well, we've been communicating with this young girl. What did you think?
Okay, so yeah, Jameson brings up a good point because his sob story does work on Chris. I was about to say, no, it didn't. But like we have interviews with him after the fact where he like felt legitimately bad for Ambrosio.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't. Like there are some dudes I feel bad for. Obviously, Ken Brinkman, the solid 3. I feel bad that he got what he got. But then again, it was probably enough. I don't feel bad for Ambrosio, like, even a little bit.
Yeah. It was 19, probably, you know, legitimately suffering from depression.
Yeah.
And taking apparently a ton of medication. I find him pitiable. You know,
Pitiable,
I think
yes.
you know, he was definitely a virgin, and I also find, you know, that at 19, I mean, you're still pretty stupid and young, and you know,
Right.
obviously you're an adult. But I think he had a lot of shit stacked up against him. Not saying that what he did it was right or that he didn't get what he had coming to him, but
So
out of all the predators, he is one that I just think, yeah, I can say, you know, poor stupid kid shouldn't have fucked around and found out, you know.
Right, but here's the thing. I remember being 19. I remember being 16. I remember being all of the ages. So I remember being 19 and then remembering interacting with 13-year-olds when I was 19. And I go, no, never. Not socially, not professionally, not sexually, none of it. Don't want any of it because it's fucking obnoxious. So that's the thing. Everybody goes, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. Whatever. What if he had a clean medical, like mental health bill and he go, well, I just like to have sex with kids. Woohoo. Like, then we go, oh, poor guy. He just really likes, you know, children, guys. Come on. Cut him some slack.
No. I'm not saying that.
No, I know. It's just like, that's the thing. It's like, we'll pity the dudes like this because, yeah, we all have had pitiable situations. But, like, no one pities Jeff Sokol, even though he has probably a similar bill of diagnoses from a doctor. We go, but that guy's a shit stain.
He is, dude. He is.
He didn't cry.
Jeff Stacy.
Whatever. That's Ambrosio.
And how old did you think she was?
12, she said.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
Only child.
To find out he wasn't a virgin.
So tell me
That's
how
right.
you got it.
That's as mind-blowing as when Cologne admitted that, like, and like not even admitted, it was just like when he was in there eating his Chinese food, he's like, I've been with a 13-year-old, 15-year-old before. And the detective, probably the same lady, was like, and what was her name? He's like, it was a him.
It was him. Yeah.
I mean, like, whatever, but like, someone
To
can
this kind of
pull that
conversation,
card.
Where you met her? What online?
Yeah, that app, Whisper.
Whisper. Okay. And did you guys stay on Whisper?
Creepy.
Or-
No, we went to Kicks.
Okay. What's your username on Kick?
Mine?
Yeah.
New York Cowboy.
Vincenzo 33.
Vincenzo.
Was hers.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah,
Vincenzo.
And
Okay, here's the thing. I know that all you Italians love your goddamn heritage, but here's the thing. Just because you are Italian or can trace dark hair on your head or some sort of Italian blood in your lineage somewhere, if you look like Vincent, it doesn't matter how fucking Italian you are. Call yourself Vincenzo Vincellini. I don't give a shit. You're still a blob of shit. Like, I don't like when people fall into stereotypes, ethnic stereotypes, positive or negative, because they're both annoying. I don't want people to go, I know Mamma Mia pasta sauce and mozzarella. It's just as annoying as like when people make fun of different ethnicities for like food choices or whatever. I don't like it positive or negative. It's hyper annoying.
But it's Vincenzo. He just wants you to know that he's a mafia guy.
It's right, but it's like, here's the thing. It's nothing like this, but it's akin to this. When like, you know, there's no other like good term for it. How do I say this? God damn it. When a white kid wants to act urban, there's a term for that when you're white and want to act urban, right? Because you're co-opting something that does feel very inauthentic. Like if a person of color makes a joke that they love fried chicken and watermelon, they want to play to that stereotype or whatever stereotype you want to play to. I don't like that. But I also don't like this guy who's definitely not black or definitely Italian or definitely anything. And he goes, the Mamma Mia, right? God.
Well, he's from Wappinger, New York. He's got to do something.
Vincenzo. Like he's driving a 1953 Porsche Spider around like the Italian countryside.
Jameson says, as an Italian American, I do not endorse this behavior. Forget about it.
Jesus Christ.
what was your?
I expect that from a Jameson.
Lots of people talk about my problems.
Is it normal to share your age?
Yeah, most people don't.
Yeah.
Truthful about it.
Yeah. Have you shared your age with other people? And
That's kind of something I want to run up everybody's flagpole because I'm not doing a lot of new meeting people on the internet. So I don't know if that's a good thing, a good stereotype to keep up because I just started a new job and I have 50 new people in front of me and I don't ask any of them their age. Is that simply an internet thing with an asterisk if you want to bang them and are scared? Right? Because I'm not going to ask the 50 some odd year, 60 some odd year, whatever decade her body has made it to and go like, so what's up with those, what's on your odometer? Like what?
How many candles you're burning?
Right.
Yeah, he's. I'm noticing now that he stares straight ahead like this whole time, doesn't he? They'll often like shift their chair so that there's the way they're sitting, so they're facing the interrogator, but.
Hey,
he just seems to be staring past that toilet paper the whole time.
Stiving.
That's the thing about Vincenzo here. He's a stone cold, steely-eyed man with a 1,000-yard stare who doesn't, look ladies in the face after he comes to meet children.
I don't ask people what their ages are that I work with or not.
Right. That's why I'm saying I think it's just an internet thing, and only then do you does it come up if you're like long into a conversation? To be like, oh, by the way, or like it comes up like Lauren first question out. Like. ASL was great back in 1999 when you go, who is out there? But now we all know who's out there. It's weirdos and sex perverts.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how old they are.
When you go on Whisper, are you talking to people you know?
No, strangers.
Strangers, okay. And then you're trying to get to know them.
Yeah. Friends, somebody to talk to.
And did you tell this girl how old you are?
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
19.
19.
Is that true, Vincenzo? Sorry.
What'd she call herself?
Jenna.
Jenna. Did she send you pictures too?
Mm-hmm.
What did they look like?
Just regular selfies and stuff like that.
Selfies of her face, her
Face.
body? Okay.
And
did
she sent me one of her body.
She did.
And a bathing suit picture. She was at the beach or something. With parents.
And did she look 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. She looked 12.
Okay.
It's one of those weirdos.
So
Those
who
weirdos.
initiated any kind of sexual talk?
I did.
Okay. Tell me about that.
I guess I was just horny and I just talked about it.
I guess. Just came up.
You talked about having intercourse with her.
Relations.
Originally, and then I kind of took back. I said a couple times. I don't.
Maybe it's like something in every predator's mind where like if you're going to go after kids, like maybe it's something written into your very DNA where like as long as you come clean about your intentions to violate someone under the age of consent, but as long as at the 11th hour you're able to pull out your pull out couch game and go, but then I decided I wasn't gonna do a thing.
That's right. So many of them say that, don't they?
And like just once, like, right, wouldn't it just be hilarious if like when Vince is sitting here and he goes, well, I was gonna like rail her 12-year-old body 7 ways from Sunday, but then I was like, whoa, Vincenzo, let's go get a calzone instead. And like she just hops up, like rips up all her notes, like gives him a good pat on the back and like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. You have a good day or whatever. Like, keep up the good work, Vincenzo.
I want to, and she said, well, I think I'm old enough, and I said, I really don't think it'd be right.
But then 4 hours elapsed and she saw my penis.
Is that what you thought?
Yep.
Yeah,
There is the other hold on a second here. There is the other the option like the Cody Green style where instead of saying I thought about it and I changed my mind and I wasn't going to come here, and Cody Green on the other hand's like, what do you mean here by are you ready to have my thang in your mouth? Are you ready to have my dick in your mouth?
It's the cleanest, best pleasure.
Just so flat out. Yeah.
Look,
sir, I just think sex with a 13-year-old would be
cleanest,
the
best
pleasure.
But like he was the one who flips on a dime though, because he's the one who sat right down and goes, sir, I really came here for no reason.
Yeah, right.
Like it wasn't like
Did
a
I
casual
really drive here for no reason?
Yeah.
right, like that. It wasn't. Because sometimes it's a slow burn, right? Like they'll say, nothing, and then the evidence will slowly trickle out, and we'll get that slow payoff. He's like water off, water on. He's like the clapper. He walks in and he goes, sir, I really came here I drove all this way for no reason. And Chris is like, and he's like, I wanted her to put my thing in her mouth. And he's like, well, nice shirt.
I'm outside, says Matt.
You got the clothes thing going on.
Oh, yeah, you got the clothes thing going on? Girls aren't about that, sir.
Thank you, Ryan.
By herself, and I thought,
Nobody else got it.
It's trying to waste my gas.
I'm usually a kind person. I was just trying to be friendly. Yeah. I didn't want to do anything to it.
Here's how you can tell like a predatory mindset or like if someone's a murderer, right? If they murdered, like if they interview a husband who murdered his wife, right? And they'll go like, I loved her. They're dead and he killed her, right?
Oh, man. Yep.
If you're a pervert or a predator, you'll do like what Vincent does here. You'll go like, I wasn't planning on doing anything to her. Like she's not a willing compatriot in this sexual act. It's not like I wasn't going to do something with her. He was going to do it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good point.
He was going to, you're a cowboy or right up.
And in all his crying here, I don't think he reaches for that toilet paper. I can't remember exactly, but.
Right. And the sniffs are like so forced. You tell he's sniffing extra hard to kind of catch some of that flab on his face to make it jiggle and sound like there's snot in there. It just it's not working.
It's true, Jameson. Cody Green was drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper because it matched his outfit.
You think he did that and it wasn't for the 23 flavors and 0 calories?
He was looking pretty fresh.
She said her parents were divorced, and she was.
She could have got Crystal Pepsi.
She had to take care of her pets herself. She had to do stuff for herself, and I associated myself with that because I have to do that. I'm an only child. I have to take care of my grandfather. My father doesn't get around. He has a bad knee. He walks on crutches. Mom's always at work.
So
What?
Just talk.
He's got a bunch of bad family members who are all broken.
Okay.
So was this just kind of like a fun distraction for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sometimes my dad's on crutches. He's hobbling around. And I think, we'll really break up the Monday afternoon doldrums, romping around with a 12-year-old off in Connecticut.
That's right. The doldrums.
Hey, Dad, drop those crutches. We're headed off to Connecticut.
We're going to learn how to say water.
Someone tells me there's a pizza out there that's
The best pizza
maybe the best,
in
but
Fairfield?
the small is as big as a large. That's what they hear.
I understand. My dad
Does
used to eat
sex
large
do that
pizzas,
for
so I get it.
He often thought they were smalls, though. He was very confused.
There's a place in Connecticut that only sells one size of pizza called Colony Grill. Kitty, I hope you've been there before.
Here's the beauty about calling yourself the world's greatest anything, right? Is everything, every movie, music, whatever, has a #1 fan, and they'll fight for you. As long as you call yourself the best, there's some mushhead out there who'd be like, oh, yeah. Like everybody who fights for New York pizza or bagels. It's in the water.
Pepe's Pizza, I think it was called. That was like the best pizza
Is it
in
the
Fairfield.
cleanest, best pizza?
It may have been the cleanest. I've never had it before because my parents never wanted to wait because like the line used to be around the block.
That's how you know it was the cleanest and the best.
Yeah.
Although, by the time all those pizza people got through with it, I bet that pizza hole was a little yoked.
A little bit.
You'll get your mind off of your troubles.
The cleanest,
Well,
best
it's like
pizza.
the stress reliever. I feel awkward talking to you about that. Sorry.
I don't mean to do this again, but here's another thing I noticed about myself that maybe others don't, is when I'm hyper stressed about shit, like whether it be work or family life or literally anything else I get stressed about, like my #1 thing to think about isn't like getting my bone on. It's typically about stressing out about the shit that I'm stressing out. So all these people who were like, I was hyper, like, oh, work was super thing, and like I had a big test coming up at work, and the only way I could unwind and relax was like trolling. What's that game with all the penguins in it that all the kids play? Whatever.
Penguin Club.
Yeah, Penguin Club.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's memes about it and shit.
Thank you, Kitty. Colony. The one thing I miss about Connecticut is Colony Pizza. They used to, that hot oil pizza with the big pepper in the middle. Oh my God. Best
Sounds amazing.
pizza ever.
One size. That's how, but that's the thing.
I used to eat the whole thing.
Go to a place that does shit like that, and you're guaranteed to be like. What you got to do is either be like Burger King, where everything is your way, or just be like In-N-Out, where it's like, we have 3 things. What the fuck do you want? Which one? God damn it! Do that.
Nice.
Make one pizza. Maybe don't even give options on topping. Just be like, guess what? We'll make a pineapple and pepperoni pizza. Every once in a while, throw some olives on it. If you don't want it, stay the fuck out of my restaurant. I'm Vincenzo
Basically,
Ambrosio.
In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm going to call it Out and In Pizza.
After 18 years of law enforcement, that would shock me. Plus, I work with sex crimes. Like that's so.
We should be playing
Dun, dun.
bingo. Dun dun.
They always bring up how long they've been in the
18
in the
years.
game.
By text is not
Bullshit. She's like 27.
a lot of stuff.
She's at least 36.
I'm pretty comfortable talking about it, so you can feel comfortable. Okay. And I'm an adult.
Judging by her age.
Guess what, Vincenzo? I'm super comfortable with you talking about all your weird sex perversions, so just loosen up. Like, it's kind of like, this is what must be like to be audited by a Scientologist, right? Because the detective is not going to give up anything, nor become vulnerable, nor offer anything, but they will definitely be like, hey, I'm comfortable with you utterly destroying yourself for me. Doesn't that make you feel better, bitch? I don't know.
Hey, I got a question. Why is this footage so moldy?
I don't know.
We have the Joshua Clone, the Jeff Sokol. I can't remember how clean Jeff Sokol's footage is, but like Dupay, all that footage is clean. Why is this like it's been stepped on 100 times?
This feels okay. Probably a couple of reasons. The mechanical reason may be that departments may not get upgrades all at once. They may get upgrades in camera and gear piecemeal, so he just got put in a shitty room. 2, the person who uploaded this may have changed the framing so a certain asswipe wouldn't take control of it, so the resolution is lost.
Oh, I gotcha.
Just postulation. This is all allegedly, except for the
Allegedly.
Vincent Ambrosio part. He's definitely a sex pervert.
Ryan says, FFOP radio, you'll be in and out of court.
You'll be in and out of court. That's right.
Have you been
They'll never stop. I'll be in and out of court so fast. It'll be like, why did they even try to take me? Never will I get out. Just kidding. I'll get out very, very quickly.
talking to anybody else?
Yeah.
They only had the TP to wipe the camera lens
Yeah.
with.
What's her name?
This is the same camera that they filmed the Susan Monica interrogation on, where she shit the chair.
Anna.
P.S. Like, what the fuck? Have you seen that interrogation footage, Sam? I don't expect you to have.
I haven't. It sounds awful.
So Susan Monica is a transgender woman who was like in the Navy, decided to buy a bunch of land in the middle of nowhere and become a woman, which is fine. But then she decided to kill some dudes and feed them to her pigs. And then when she got found out, had a little bit of a panic attack right before the lie detector test and shit the chair. And the lie detector dude was like, "Oh, what's that there?" And she's like, "I shit the chair." And he's like, "All right, sit down. It's time for your test." And I'm like, "What?" Like,
Wow.
not a single wet wipe for this poor person. Like, they're just like, "All right, let's get you buckled in." Whoops.
Nice.
She hasn't talked to me in a long time now.
This is a pretty camera.
Week or two.
Yeah.
Supposedly she has her phone taken away. I really liked her.
Were you talking about sexual stuff with her too?
Yeah, we talked about it. She's 18
Oh, yeah.
or 19. Just,
She said she was 18?
yeah.
Do you know her in real life? Have you seen
I
her?
wanted to meet her.
Yeah.
I wanted to know her in real life.
We were supposed to meet up at the Middletown area, like Intermountain and stuff
Middletown.
like that.
Do you work on the movie Kindergarten Cop? I saw the movie.
I saw the movie. Exactly.
It's a different story there, Vincenzo.
Middletown, New Jersey?
No, New York.
New York.
The way he's sitting and stuff kind of reminds me of like Paul Blart. What is his name? What is the actor's
2
name?
weeks ago, she canceled.
Kevin James?
Oh,
I think
Like,
his
if
name
he-
is Kevin Blart.
Kevin Blart.
Yeah.
If he had longer hair, like this would be Kevin James.
There are so many people who fit. Like, that's the thing. We basically come with a few stock options. We got straight and curly hair, very few colors, couple of body types. So it's not hard to find one person who looks like dozens of others. It's just he's a blown out cartoon caricature of anyone you can pull.
It's Gary Busey.
Yeah, he's like an overinflated, crinkly haired Gary Busey.
dude, that hair though, man. It's like having. It's. I mean, an afro must be a nightmare to have to deal with. But his hair is like absolutely nothing you can do with it.
Right.
Nothing. You can shave it, and I think in recent RSO pictures of him, it's shaved. But if you let it grow out at all, there's no taming it. You
No.
can't part it.
You
It's
either
just grow up and out like
Yeah.
a munchie cheese or something.
you go shaved head, you go whatever the Vincent Ambrosio, because everybody with this type of curly hair has this sort of hairstyle at one point, or you pull it into the Stephen McDaniels and just let it go, and then sometimes pull it back into a zany ponytail that makes you look even more like a murderer somehow.
Up by me, she said, "Oh, I guess I can try to come." And she ended up having work. I started feeling like she didn't really want to talk to me.
That's another thing too, like meet in a public place, because if someone's like, "Meet me in my house," like
Right.
murders happen at houses, bars too, but less.
And so they communicated the two of them.
I guess.
Were you trying to get something sexual to happen between the three of you?
Yeah, I think at one point I did want something.
Was there like a role playing you guys were gonna do or something like that?
Yeah, I guess we kind of like a family kind of thing.
Yeah. And so
What?
We play like a family
Ooh.
sort of thing.
You're talking about mothers having. Oh, dude, you're talking about fathers. Oh.
Father,
Listen,
daughter.
I have this magazine.
say it.
It's called Rim Jobs.
Oh, dude.
Here's the thing. Whatever. Like, I don't. That's another thing that's so crazy to me. Like the whole. Like, I know it's a meme, but things make it to meme status when they become like saturated somewhere. So like all this stepbrother, step sibling, stepmom, stepdad, all this weird shit. Like, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's so many weird genres out there, but like here's the thing, because I can't imagine everybody's doing it for like genuine whatever. Like the memes have to be true, or they're actual pornos where people are getting legitimately stuck in washers or behind couches or under the bed or whatever. But it just seems like always a Rube Goldberg of like comedy sex, and I go, this is it. Like a bunch of bad actors stand 3 feet from each other with the smell of genitalia in the air while like the dad can't see the stepmom under the couch blowing the stepson. And he goes, "Well, Slugger, I'll see you at softball practice." And he's 27 and got like a beard and he's like chiseled as shit. "Oh, hey, Dad. Going out to play t-ball."
Yes, sir.
you and Hannah were gonna be mom and dad
Yeah, I guess with that.
and have Jenna
So
watch or
he's
have Jenna
he's talking
participate
about I think, if I'm not mistaken, Hannah is the name of his other friend that they're going to
The
that he was going
18-year-old.
to, bring into the little threesome, and that they were going to play house, and they could do mommy and daddy, and bring in little Jenna to be the third participant.
Mm.
And I had to look it up because I was thinking, if there was a Hannah who was an adult and was involved in it, talking to this girl at all,
Oh, yeah.
was there any charges made against her? And allegedly, the only thing I could find is that he's reported to have made that character up. So it was him
Gross. So,
portraying a third person.
and then what? But then when the rubber meets the road, right? Like, what's he gonna pull out a really convincing puppet from Etsy and be like, "Oh, look, a 13-year-old has showed up to the party," and like he just has to hold up a blanket the whole time to be like, but
Right, but it probably in his mind that was a grooming tactic. Like,
Oh,
I'll
for
just
sure.
bring in this other female character,
Make
and,
you feel more comfortable.
right. But
yeah,
isn't-
make her more comfortable. That, oh, okay, well, at least this other young woman is enjoying whatever we're discussing here.
that's an even longer, more disgusting con than getting directly to 13-year-old. Because if you're like getting with an 18-year-old and then role playing another character trying to get them okay, you're setting the stage for something you don't even have on your plate yet, or even in the oven.
Oh yeah.
But I want to address something really quick. Jameson says, I blame Star Wars for the whole Luke and Leia weirdness. So here's
Yeah.
the thing. It's all going to crystallize in your head when I tell you all these things.
Oh boy.
So 70s, right? Star Wars, huge. Luke and Leia, people get horned up. George Lucas doesn't know what he's doing, makes them brother and sister. Whatever. In a normal society, no problem. In the 70s, America is highly influenced by lead poisoning. I think a lot of our sex perverts are, at the end of the day, are lead and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100% accurate right there. If you lived through the 70s, you're a sex pervert. And if you saw Star Wars, you're a double sex pervert.
And if you enjoyed it, it's off the hook.
It's off the hook.
What did you have in mind?
I mean, not much,
did
really,
you
because
tell me
mechanically the
to?
third person wouldn't be.
Right.
I think I wanted to have Jenna join in, or have her and Hannah do something. Well, I don't remember.
You wanted Jenna.
Right, but imagine having to explain this to this detective, knowing that, what was it, Hannah and Jenna?
Jenna
And
was the
Jenna
young
didn't
one.
exist?
No, Hannah didn't
Hannah
exist.
didn't exist, sorry. Yeah, be like, oh yeah, her and Hannah were going to get at it. And he's like, oh yeah, I've got no details because number one, never saw two girls get it on before. Number two, Hannah doesn't exist. Whoopsie daisy.
To join in with you
Yeah.
and Hannah having like sexual intercourse.
Okay.
Did you talk about like certain, there's a lot of ways to have
I don't
sex.
think there was any certain stuff.
Yeah, could you imagine Vincent Ambrosio in the role of Hugh Laurie in House?
No.
Ryan Maxwell just postulated the idea. Now I love it. Just a
Yeah,
very thick Ambrosio on a cane, like rolling around a hospital trying to get with the pediatric patients.
I love Hugh Laurie. Oh my
And her
god.
sisters.
Hey, I got to say, happy Laurent. By the way, we're still in the holy month of Laurent, but just as a coincidence and some connection here, he made up the character Hannah. Lauren's choice for the name of the daughter with he and Kayla was Hannah.
Oh,
He said,
yeah.
you can name our son, but I get to name our daughter.
Circles
Just
and
don't name our
circles.
son Lorne. Oh my god.
Right? Yeah, like
Lauren
why?
Jr. Lol.
It's horrifying when you see someone who owns a shitty name and you poor bastard. But then when they pull a tag team on their kid and be like, yeah, fuck you too. It's always so sad.
Yeah. Nice.
Alien versus Predator versus Ambrosio. Ambrosio would be like the cold open, right? Like it would be Ambrosio in a dark studio apartment with like the blue light of his computer screen blinking on his face when like an alien head like slowly emerges from the darkness over his shoulder and like the little proboscis like jabs him in the neck and he just bleeds out.
Oh, perfect.
Alien versus Predator versus Ambrosio. And then he's like, that's the thing. Like the camera immediately cuts to above him where he's like splayed on the ground as like a puddle of blood grows and the camera starts spinning upward and it's like Alien versus Predator and like a little tiny parentheses is like Ambrosio.
Ambrosio, nice.
specifically about like what you
Almost like when Clark Bartram played Batman in Aliens versus Predator versus Batman.
Bitchin'.
liked or something
May
like that.
Lord also be with you.
And also with you.
Some of the text I saw. You
Alien
were
versus Predator versus
really
Freddy
encouraging her
versus
to catch
Jason
herself.
versus Ambrosio.
Still, the cold open never changes.
Something that you like to watch, or something you wanted her to do for you, or what?
No, honestly, I don't know why I said stuff. I just said it.
Real quick, this is $1 million idea. It's a comedy series, and you'll never get the rights to it, so don't try. But imagine a Friday the 13th TV series where instead of, not Friday the 13th, sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street, where instead of running a shitty antique store like they did in the Friday the 13th TV show, we have Freddy jump into the minds of predators and get grossed out by their dreams.
Oh yeah.
Every week he's like, gross, bitch, and like fucks off back to his boiler room.
Stuff sexually, like everyone has unique things they like to do or like to see.
And that's
So it
totally
was part of the
fine, but
plan
it's
that you
not
wanted
though.
her to do that
For you.
and do it in front of you.
No, it was more
Behind
just
you,
to
Ro?
see if she liked it or not. I guess to see if she felt anything.
How did you normally use whisper and kick? Was it on your phone?
Yeah, it was on my iPod.
It's usually
Okay,
an
creative.
app thing.
Just trying to keep it simple. Yeah.
It's the kiss method, detective.
Yeah, when I'm hunting children, I like to do the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, find the kids, talk to the kids,
Go to the kids.
groom the kids.
Tell me about today. How did today start? What time did you guys start talking?
I love it when they start at the beginning of the day.
I woke up and I went to the bathroom.
Yep.
Anytime in an interrogation, we're like, well, let's start at the beginning of the day. After you woke up, what'd you do? What'd you have for breakfast there, slugger? It never gets unfunny. I don't care if the person sitting in the chair is a murderer who chopped up someone, like liquidized them and squirted them on their neighbor's house like a fine coat of Sutter Mills paint, or their Ambrosio here who's like, oh, whoopsie daisy, I got catfish because I'm a moron. When they go, how did your day start? It fucking kills me.
That's awesome.
When you roll out of bed as a murderer, what's that like? What's your day like?
30th.
Pick the kids up from soccer.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Last night,
PTA.
I guess you guys changed the time you wanted to meet.
Yeah. What time did you initially want to meet?
I think she said her parents were going to leave early.
She said her parents were going to leave early.
Yeah, like at 8 o'clock or something, but they ran late.
So was your plan initially?
Which was surely a bracketing error in bringing in other predators. I think
Right.
they busted 3 that day. And so, yeah, come early and then, oh shit, Joshua Cologne's coming. We got to fucking bump him up to a
That's-
different time slot.
The fact that they
Earlier
got
in the morning?
so many is mind-boggling to me, simply because like people as a whole are basically unreliable. Like the fact that, you know, we can probably count on one hand the amount of times that 2 people showed up at the same time due to a scheduling kerfuffle, or the fact that a train was late or a taxi or whatever. Like,
Right.
it just, everything about this is lightning in a bottle that keeps striking in the same bottle.
Tennis boy, I want you to meet slave for mistresses.
Slaves and mistresses. You bring the collar? Oh, what? I am not here for the sex. I am not.
We're going to be arrested.
What? That's, I think we're gonna. Yeah.
Earlier?
It's been any other one. She said she just moved me, so I was going to bring her around and show her stuff.
Yeah.
Show her like little shops and stuff.
You just imagine Vincent Ambrosio and a 12-year-old rolling around a pier, picking out like shell art and shit, like at kitschy little beachside properties. Like, oh, is this your cousin? He's like, yeah, wink.
And what happened? She said I had to go back?
Yeah, she changed the time.
She said a guy named Cologne was coming over. You don't have to take a shower.
Oh.
You okay?
Is she on her phone again?
Probably. She's like, hold on, I got
So
the
when you made our meet
text.
time, what was the meet time?
I swear to God, I am virgin. Many girls, they try to have sex with me. And I tell them, I do not accept. I do not accept.
You do that well, man.
I swear to God.
Go for it.
And so when did you leave your house?
I went late because my parents wanted me to bring something over my uncle's house.
Okay.
That was around 1:30.
Looks like he's got an AI hand going on.
Yeah.
And how did you find her? Have you been here before?
No, I just looked at
4.5.
GPS.
What did you use for a location? Just town of Fairfield?
Her house. The one she gave it to me.
Okay. But were you already on your way before she gave you your house? Or
No,
you had the house
I
from
had
the
the
beginning?
house already, yeah.
What was the address she gave you? Do you remember?
701 Milk.
701 MILF.
Mill Plain Road. I think.
Yeah, Mill
Not
Plain Road.
701 MILF. I dialed 1-800-MILF.
100 MILFs a lot. Kick those nasty thoughts.
I'm pretty impressed that he remembered the name, though.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
not the name, the address, though.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Just off
At
the top of
all.
his head.
I've been to places over a dozen times, and if someone says, "Where is that place?" I would go that way.
I mean, he just did it, and he had to MapQuest it, so he had to type it in.
No, it doesn't matter. As soon as I MapQuest something, I know the computer has it, so it falls out of the head.
Absolutely, dude. That's exactly how I am.
I don't know. I think it's different. Like, for me, it's different. If it's a business name, I'll just think of the business name, not the address.
Well-
But if it's somebody's house,
Well, a couple of things. He was horned up, so his emotions are high, which makes it easier for memories to become concrete. And number two, it was MILF Road. Let's not forget that. Milfstead Avenue. Huh? Gonna MILF down to electric MILFanue.
oh, Jesus.
Unfortunately.
Well, it's a pretty big star.
Oh, wait, dude. We
hilarious.
missed that part. We missed that part where she says, "Is this you? You know, is that your penis?" Or I don't think she says that word, but he's like, "Yeah," and he's embarrassed, and she says, "Well, it's a pretty big star." Like,
Yeah, like, because
and
they
he
had
says
to,
it's all about the angles.
yeah. Did they hand the cops like the edited versions?
Apparently,
That's-
it's a pretty big star.
That's because like that's the only way she could talk about his joint, right? Like if that was an unedited picture of his curly-headed member, right? She couldn't be like, "Hey, it doesn't look like you have a whole lot of pubes." Like, what's she gonna say, right? Like, hey, most of it gets beyond those curlies, right? Hey,
Oh, my God.
right? People can see it from far away.
The angle.
And you think you're not that big. You're telling her, I'm not that big.
Here's how you verify if you're big or not. Have the person stand 30 feet away from you and drop trow. If they say, "Yeah, I see it," it's fine. It's fine.
You have to get an unwitting victim though to do that for you. Hey, I'm going to show you something. Just tell me if you can see it.
Hey, how good you were judging 30 feet.
How good's your vision?
And so you
You
were
got
playing.
20/20?
You throw in good directions. Yes, rubber.
So just for to keep it, is this kick or is this
The purple's Whisper and then
whisper?
Man, and they printed it in color, too? That's expensive.
Yeah, you know their magenta cartridges through the roof,
Yeah.
like expense-wise for this department.
Right.
Why would someone want to switch to kick? Like why? Why would
it's just a, you can see, you can have
What's up,
it,
Decon?
Hey, Decon.
Glad to have you for a second.
Yeah, or no, you pull that and you can like see it kind of like this. You pull it.
That's another thing that I don't get. Here's the thing, I do get when they go from whisper to something like texting or whatever, but Kick seems like so. I haven't used Kick, so maybe this is old man Dave, and I'm like, why aren't the shoe whores, whatever? It doesn't matter. All the old timey references that I can pull aren't anything like this because I don't know what Kick is, and it feels like going from AIM to Yahoo, maybe. Like if you're going to, I guess here's the thing. Go whole hog, right? Don't jump from app to app, because I think Dupee did this and all of them do this. They start with Whisper and move through a bunch of different ones.
Right.
Like if you're going to live that lifestyle, why the different levels of filtration that don't necessarily grab anything? It's
I suspect that Whisper was like posting on Craigslist or something.
Yeah,
Word.
kind of.
Get messages. I don't know for sure. But these messages where it sounds like moving to Kick, then you could also have like a little avatar next to your name.
Yeah, I guess the thing with me now is just like apps are just a more annoying version of texting, which is also an app which you can get a million of. So maybe it's just like if you're stupid, like you'll go, oh, it's one layer removed from my text, but like it's still on your phone. It's like if you have a big house and one room is specially for you to shit in mason jars and hide, right? When the police come in, they're not going to like take your word to not look in that room because it has no bearing on the rest of the case. They're going to find it. They're going to go, what's up with that? But the thing is, he's not saving shit in jars. He's saving sex talk with a child. It's a little worse.
He should have used Snapchat, even though they get deleted. You can still find him. But
That's how that comedian got nabbed.
yeah,
Oh, Whisper's supposed to be in on.
Yeah. By the way, I thought that was cool. Decon came in and used a Predator reference. I just came by to say I wasn't going to be coming by.
So, I had to go somewhere
Find it
else.
if you're-
Well, kind of.
Is GPS connected to
With
either
my
one of them?
friends.
Like you can see locations? No.
Well, on Whisper, when you see their original post, it does tell you like a general area.
Yeah. Okay. Did you guys specifically talk about the sexual acts you're
Right. So Matt, Smoke Signals is right. This does feel like, I don't know, like, because you're moving from like big apps like Whisper where it's all anonymous. It just like the work of being a predator versus just like a regular person is so confounding to me because you have to go to a place that's like almost exclusively anonymous, like try and cut through that to build up a relationship to someone that you hope isn't also catfishing you, then pull that person from there to another app, get like video and or audio and or picture confirmation when it's like, and even then, like a lot of the time you're getting catfished by someone on YouTube or Chris Hansen.
yeah.
What are we doing here?
gonna do today?
Bold move.
But earlier on we did.
What did you guys?
It's like a
what did you
whisper,
say?
a whisper whisperer.
Oh.
I don't remember specifics. I
What
don't
was
know.
in your mind coming there?
What was in your heart, Vincent?
I don't know how virgin sex is.
You've never had sex before? You've ever had any kind of penetration with a girl?
Huh?
No,
Oral sex?
no.
You watch it, you knew what to do from like watching porn,
Yeah.
or you wanted to experience it?
Mhm.
Is he gonna come clean soon?
Can I see this?
We find out later
sorry.
he's
Oh,
actually
no!
been penetrated.
Dang it! I screwed up the thing,
Way to go.
Probably will probably.
which I always do. Sorry.
You're right. That's about right. 16,
Yeah.
18. That's about right.
We
Know, like, have you ever face chatted with Hannah?
Well,
You know?
so here's the thing too. While we're sort of finding our bearings on what's going on here,
She gave me a Facebook.
I have a question because again, maybe I get when you would want something new, and I get when you would want something used. Or that's not even an apt analogy, but like whatever. Like getting with someone with no experience has to all be related to just the power of the dynamic, right? Because I can't think of a more like horrifying and or boring and or just like awkward experience than someone who has zero frame of reference for what's about to happen, and I have to sort of awkwardly tell them what's going on as they have to deal with the emotional ramifications of like all the things happening. I can't imagine that being like good.
No.
Cringy as fuck, dude.
Right.
That's bad.
I want to roll in someplace and have them know where the stick shift is, where the gas, where the brake, where the clutch, how they all work, where the buttons are. I don't want to sit in the passenger seat with someone, like even if it's one of those tandem student driver cars where they both have a steering wheel, with someone who doesn't know dick about shit.
Dude, well, that's why, like Cody Green, that would be the cleanest, best pleasure. It's like, hey, has he never been with a woman?
I'm saying, like, if your idea of like the cleanest best pleasure is like someone who is scared, holding very still and stays very quiet, then
Oh, it's awful, dude. Yeah,
yeah,
it's horrifying.
it puts you in the same frame of mind as like a vet coming in on a dog in a cage. Like the vet knows exactly what's going on and it's not going to be dangerous potentially, but the dog doesn't know shit and it's going to wig.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah,
that,
dude.
whatever.
When you think about it like that, it's so clearly horrifying.
Right? Because you're only thinking about you. And he's like, I don't know what I was going to do to her, what I was going to do at her, what I was going to come upon her with. Like, what?
Oh, here you go. She's on her phone again.
Well, anyway, boyfriend's calling. Yeah, beefaroni is great for dinner. Send. Be home in 20.
Talking to her, I think this past Friday, saying,
Oh.
Jenna saying, we will probably have sex. LOL, I'm really horny. I want your young pussy.
Oh, she's reading it from her phone.
What I say?
That's probably his phone.
He said, oh my God, I can't believe
Yeah.
that I am a perv. What's wrong with me?
See, here's the thing, guys. Even the best sex game spit by the, Don Juan concentrated, when it's being read after the fact in a cold, windowless room by a frigid detective, it's going to sound terrible.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much, like, you're juiced up at the time, after the fact, even if it's 10 minutes after the fact, it's going to sound like real not great. Beefaroni is fun to eat.
Yeah, she said she you don't want to meet me, and I think I said that's fine, it's okay, I'll meet you. And
All right, I got to bring this up because it's Lawrence, and it's going back to what you said 10 seconds ago about your best game being read aloud by someone who was never supposed to see it, and I'm reminded of the classic Chris Hansen flipping through the phone book with Lauren, and he stops and he says, "Oh, here's a good one."
Yeah.
Is Miss Vagina thinking about Mr. Penis? What is she thinking?
Oh my God.
my
Just
God.
having that read out by anyone.
Seriously?
And realize, did I say that? Did I say that?
I mean, that's the thing. No,
The glorious one.
Here's the thing. I don't expect anyone not to sex their partner because I'm sure, it all will come out eventually. Like when you're, whatever. Everybody talks dirty to their partner at some point. It's just now we live in an age where, like, they're not all like World War II sex letters that we have reverence for because grandma and grandpa wrote them. Like, you can crack into anyone's phone and see all the disgusting depraved shit or normal depraved shit, and it'll still come across as like hilariously fumbling.
Oh, dude, it's awful. But that's what makes the pornography, even though it's a lot of repetition, it's still just so funny because he just thinks what is it called? He projects his, what he wants on her so much, and she's just all one syllable answers. And
Bingo.
Okay.
That's the thing about it. Like, yeah, what how Jameson says, like saying, I need a surgeon, but I want a surgeon who's never cut anyone open before. What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Yeah, seriously, because like some things you want new. Cars, shoes, food, that kind of stuff. Brand new. You want the first edition. You want the first one off the line before anybody's hands or fingers or toes or dicks get in it. But like, here's the thing. With ladies or gents, you want some miles on those things. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right. Unless both of you don't have any miles.
Right. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about a very different dynamic. But that's the thing. You can walk into unsuspectingly something that you are way out of depth on. I don't know if you've ever walked into a situation where, like, you open the door, get ready for sex time, and it's like a cornucopia of like things and stuff and activities. And you go, what the fuck?
It's a giant red room.
Or like,
activities. Yeah.
God forbid you're in the middle of doing something when they all of a sudden decide to like let fly that they love dirty talk and also like wildly unorthodox dirty talk. Like, when you're 7 inches deep in, or when 7 inches of someone is in you, now isn't the time to be like, yeah, now you should say this to me, because that could be a make it or break it for the old bone. Yo.
Boner killer.
Totally.
All the more reasons to delete your archives.
Delete your
Do you
archives.
understand the damage of just saying something like that to a 12-year-old?
Before it tires loose air and starts to sag.
Picture to a 12, like it may be the first time they've ever seen a penis. It's like you
Why do they have to
changed
see
their world
one?
forever from sending that. So that's
This is hilarious because I get like the intention, right? Because it is horrible for a man like Vincenzo here to willfully send a picture of his Jerry curl joint to a poor child. However, it's since the advent of the internet, it's never been easier to find a naked image of somebody. So back before the internet, it definitely probably had some more sting to be like, oh my God, you showed that person a penis and they never would have seen one until, their wedding night.
Right.
But like I was seeing joints when I was young because the internet was there and like, hello.
Were they Jerry curl joints though?
It was the 90s, so by then it was like smooth sailing, if you know what I mean.
did you know that ahead of
I
time?
ain't got no answer for that.
I guess, yeah, in the back of my mind I did.
Were you looking for a little bit of shock value there? Were you looking to kind of shock?
Looking to be a little bit of a Howard Stern figure. You're a New
Like I said, I
Yorker.
was horny, but when I get horny, I don't really think straight. As you can see, kind of the text changed a little bit. I don't know if you read them all. Like from one.
I don't know if you read them all.
Kind of see how I was apprehensive about the whole thing.
Yeah, you can see how I was like, hey, what's your name? How old are you? Should we have sex or not?
Here's my penis.
Hello. God damn. Here's the thing. I bring this up a lot, but it bears repeating because you may forget it. If you send your genitals to somebody, there's a dozen copies the second you take a picture of your genitals, because there's a good chance that your phone has a backup somewhere. There's a cloud, or you've got somewhere, and that you're going to send it to someone. And so it's got to travel across multiple servers to get to that device. And so the second your genitals see a screen, just imagine everybody sees your penis. That's it. Just get over it, right?
The world
That
has
makes-
seen my joint.
How hilarious is it to get one of those emails from Google that says, remember this from 1 year ago?
Right? Like, hey, look back on better times, and there's just like a blown out picture, like with the black super crushed of your curly pubes, and like it's all slopped over on your leg, and you're like, oh yeah, that was a good weekend.
Yeah, I remember that
The
now.
fuck?
Those were the
Trying-
days.
Yeah. Oh, there we were at the zoo. There was the orangutans. Oh, there's my joint from that one night stand. I showed her
You
my
got a
penis.
Picture of you about town, driving a car,
Oh, penis
and
pic.
oops, a penis pic.
Dave the Cougar.
Meow. I should put that back on my that sound drop.
Joking about, I kind of just
Brett Favre's agent.
move away from it because I relieve myself.
Does your medication affect how horny you get?
I think the Adderall does.
Which means what? More Adderall, less horny?
Yeah,
Or
more Adderall. I think I've been more.
More horny. Yeah.
Huh.
And you said you're on a pretty high dose, or you're coming off
No,
a
I
high
screwed
dose.
up.
Yeah, I heard that.
The human sexual chemical cocktail is so crazy, and the fact that we can point to ourselves and claim to know anything about ourselves at all is laughable. So it's funny to be like, yeah, do you know why you get so horny? It's not because I'm a sex weirdo or anything. It's probably the Adderall.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't horribly scarred as a child. Nothing weird happened. I'm totally normal. But, I get sad and that makes me super horny. What?
With the terms, you thought they were tens.
Yeah, did you see I'm shaking now?
Yeah.
I was shaking like that every day because I was on 180.
When did you?
Isn't
come off
Adderall
the
supposed to
180?
calm down an ADHD person?
Hypothetically.
2 Fridays ago. I've been having withdrawal from that. And the insurance company won't refill it because, like I said, they think 30 twice a day is too high of a dose, even though the doctor prescribed it. And they had to wait till 1st of October to say that because...
Fucking health insurance.
Don't get me started on insurance claims and like what's covered and what's like essentially preventative care versus diagnostic. You go, oh, you just want to throw your hands up and not take your pills, I guess. I don't know.
He already camera because it's controlled substance, they have to wait a month.
And that's not entirely
So have
inaccurate.
you talked with other girls?
Whatever. And not to like bring this down to a serious side of things, but like I don't like the fact that someone as fucked up as Ambrosio here, and it's easy for anybody because this used to happen to me. I would just go to a doctor and be like, boo-hoo, whether I was legitimately sad to an extent that warranted pills, I don't know, but they didn't know either.
Right.
So they'd go, oh, you know what? Take these.
Yeah.
And like the human mind is more than just a blob of chemicals that you can sort of mix and match like the colors on Bob Ross's palette. Like you can't just be like, oh, we're going to drop a little ochre yellow in here and that'll really brighten up your mood. No, like it's a very comprehensive, complex thing you got to do. You can't just be like, oh, you're a weird fat sex pervert.
Here's some Adderall.
I think he was. I can't remember I probably should have refreshed on the his Hansen interview before we watched this, but I believe he was taking like double the dosage.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
His doctor prescribed double the dose, and his insurance wouldn't refill his prescription because it was too much.
And that's what annoys me about a certain subset of people. Whereas like a lot of your functional, mechanical, day-to-day problems could be solved by just a little maintenance and a little upkeep. But it's like having, again, like the aforementioned, like all your air is out of your tires, they're sagging, like the engine is fucked, all your tubes are cracked, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to put some octane booster in that tank, run good as new.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
It don't.
And
No, I
share pictures,
No,
privates,
not really.
or anything? Have you ever met someone else that you met on a social media? Have you ever met them in real life other than
I
this
met
guy?
a guy.
You did?
Yeah, well, like I said,
Okay. Like I said,
I
everyone has
experimented with him.
You did what?
I experimented with him.
Okay.
With the
So
dude?
Did you have intercourse with him?
Yeah,
And how old was he?
18.
You know for sure?
Meh.
I didn't check
did
his
you meet him?
license.
I whispered.
What was his
Because I posted, I wanted to.
That's another thing that like, I'm going to sound like whatever for saying something like this, but like I get that everybody can fit on a spectrum somewhere and like that there's experimentation and like you can love this or that. But like to me, I don't know, there's nothing about like because since I own the equipment, like there's nothing about it I want to see from the other side to be like, whoa. Because I don't know. That's the thing. I get like there's people out there who like want to do everything, and there's people who want to go like stick with the one thing, and so I get that. I just that's where I think most like idiots get stuck is like they can't envision themselves like stroking a joint or doing whatever to the same sex that they are, and they go ew. But like,
Yeah.
I'm not closed-minded enough that like I definitely wouldn't like grab a hold of some dude's rod and like go to town, whether I was it was situationally appropriate or not. But I understand there's people out there who would love to do that, but I'm not going to be like gross because
No,
like
no.
I
To each his own.
right,
To
and
each his own.
that's what it just blows my mind that like. On the one hand, like, I don't get it, but I don't care. There are other people who don't get it, but do care. And, like, Vincent here seems to care and also not get it.
Yeah.
He's, like, the worst of
Yeah,
everything.
Why is he even offering it up? I mean, she said, have you ever met anybody? Just leave it at that,
No,
Like,
didn't.
why is he going into detail about the sexual encounter that he either did or didn't enjoy when
Well,
it's not, it doesn't even pertain.
I mean, why
this
did we have to hear about those two fat punching bags that Jim Roush nailed occasionally? Like, in this context, I believe anything is probably a hero story. So anything, like if you're sitting here talking to a detective about you almost getting in with a 12-year-old, like finding an 18-year-old of the same sex and, having a little fun there would probably seem like a win.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
Question mark?
Wanted to soften the blow.
Yeah, be like, yeah, sure, I've had sex with people before, consensual and of age, and to prove it, here's like an awkward experience I had where he's like, man, I could take her to leave it, but like, what are we doing?
Lose my bitch that over because I'm 19 and I feel ridiculous.
You posted on there. How long ago did you post that?
That was months ago.
So you had changed it by the time you met Jenna?
Posts, they don't.
Oh, you just put like one message out? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
it doesn't,
Gotcha.
think one page.
Here, let me see this evidence.
Let me get a hold of that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that he's able to just reach across the table. And grab
He doesn't
it.
seem like a particularly
No, yeah, it's like if
vicious person.
it's like if you arrested a slow loris. Like you could have a gun on the table, and it's like, oh yeah, he's not gonna. I mean, whatever.
That's probably why they just have the lady in there. Like, all right, you can go do this guy.
He's like the DMV sloth from Zootopia.
Yeah.
Exactly. That. Yeah, I said slow loris, but I meant to. Like that's a way better apt. Way apt. Oh, I can't even talk. It's way more apt analogy.
Yeah. He posts like that.
Oh, let's see. Whisper post, penis pic. Oh, here we go. Kick. Yeah. See, I was totally like, you look like a lady.
Well, that's what she had posted.
Yeah, just fry a bunch of his neurons, get those out of the way, build up some new ones, remyelinate those circuits, and he won't be a sex pervert anymore.
Man, I knew a guy who went and got shock therapy when I was in high school.
Aggressive therapies are weird. Whatever. Don't want to get into it.
So, and then it said where she was from, and then it does the picture, and that's what you can type in.
And
It's recent stuff. It shows you.
It's
recent
racist.
stuff.
gotcha. And here she's telling you she's 12, what grade she's in.
Yeah.
Did you believe her?
Seventh?
You did?
As you can see throughout the whole conversations, I've always been kind
Yeah.
of
There was none.
skeptical. I'm not. I think I actually had mentioned in one of the messages that I was worried that she was a cop.
I think we talked about the delicious French bread pizza that most cafeterias offer in the great state of New York. I think something is in the water that makes it taste better.
Did you ever question her about her age?
Did you ever grill her about it?
Question
Yeah,
more
really.
if she was real at her age, I think.
Are you real?
Go scan your library
This
card.
boy, 18-year-old that you had sex with.
I don't talk to her.
Okay, what was his username or whatever on Whisper?
I don't know.
How long ago was that?
August, June, July, I think it was.
And where did you guys meet?
At my grandfather's house, because nobody was there.
No, in that.
Hey, where do you want to meet up for our sexy rendezvous? I don't know, my grandfather's house? He's got a nice bearskin rug that smells like mothballs we can get it on top of. You ever,
Intoxicating.
yeah, you ever wanted to like get felt up by a greasy, frizzy-haired New York cowboy under the staring eyes of 14 slaughtered big game, like bucks hanging from a wall? You got a newspaper to the right that says D-Day. You got one on the left that says we've landed on the moon. It's the sexiest place you've ever been.
Yeah.
It's constantly like the smell of old books and cigar smoke.
Is that in the
perfect.
same town? Oh, that's,
Yeah,
is that your
well, that's Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepie.
You live on the East Coast. How do you spell
PSIE.
Poughkeepsie?
How do you spell Connecticut?
That's right.
Hey,
And were you penetrated or was he? Or blood?
Both,
So you have
mostly, I guess, yeah.
so you've had sex before?
It's fair.
Fair to say.
Hey, yeah!
Hey, it's fair to say
Hey,
you've had
yeah.
sex before.
Hey, it's fair to say. Would it be fair to say, Ambrosio? Come on, man. It would be fair to say that.
So then talking about, when talking about with Hannah and the role playing, did that ever happen? You never met Hannah in real life?
No.
But your intent was to kind of play house?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Had,
We were going to play Full House. I was Danny Tanner. She would be Uncle Jesse.
One of the things is
She had mullet.
She'd sometimes sing Elvis songs to me. It was really fucking cool.
so much trouble at this point.
I was hanging out with the Beach Boys.
R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Going to work,
yeah,
having structure.
right.
AI hand is on backwards again.
Just fast forward, huh? Is there anything else you want to tell me to help understand
To help me build my case against you.
what
I
happened today?
pretty much got it all, but if
Right.
you want to add any toppings to this Sunday, go ahead.
I don't know if there's anything on your mind that you're like waiting to tell me that we haven't discussed, man.
He's getting so red. Like, even in this low res, he's getting, like, pink as a pistol.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
You know, this is not easy. look at
Call
all
Uncle
this stuff.
Joey. All right,
do
Ryan, you
respect
can be
for
Uncle
taking
Joey.
Responsibility. You're taking, you're saying, yeah, that's mine. Yeah, I did it. I mean,
There's no need to lie.
well, there's some honor in that. And then the doors open.
There's some honor in that.
Yeah.
So funny to hear like a true statement, like two truths and a lie, right? Where she goes, "Oh, you did this. That's true." He goes, "Well, whatever." And then she goes, "There's some honor in that. I found the lie. I found the lie."
There it is.
Coming, yeah. Hey, you did the honorable thing. Is when you were caught, drug into the police station, and after 20 minutes of interrogation, you came clean, which is the honorable thing to do. I think Braveheart did the same thing.
Good on you.
I would love to see the correlation rather of or like what the graph chart would look like of people who lie and lie and lie, but it all comes out in the end and they're proven guilty, as opposed to people who just come right out and admit it, like any judge or juries that say, you know what, he did do this crime, but he was really helpful in the interrogation. So I think we should get. Does that ever happen? Do they actually give anybody a lighter case
No.
when it's like you're there to meet a child, you lied about it, so you're getting this many years, or you were there to meet a child and you came clean about it, so we're only going to give you this many.
This is an impossible hypothetical, right? Because how much crime has been prevented by the police? We don't know. The crime has been prevented, hypothetically, so it ends up on no stat. Now, I would say 100% in my gut that yes, people, jackanapes like Sarah Boone, Daryl Brooks, Jodi Arias, anybody who like bitches and moans and lies and drags their feet and throws out anchors the whole way. Yeah, like here's the thing. Even though you're told to be impartial and you're supposed to be this or that, if someone spent my valuable time getting ripped from a courtroom and pulling their shirt off, saying they weren't drunk, spitting at someone, I don't care what, when the shit hits the fan, there's going to be more shit.
Okay, well, yeah, see that's a solid point.
And that's just on a personal level. Like, because if you had 12 people, I guarantee nobody's happy to be there, because who's the last person you talk to aside from me who's like, yay, jury duty?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you waste above and beyond what is reasonable of their time, and or they have to watch your dumbass lies and then lie after lie after lie. And so it's just slowly pulled from the judicial system like beads from a clenched butthole. You go, that was an awful experience, and I'm going to make you pay for making me sit through it.
$18 a day.
Yeah. Hey, next time, maybe just pull it, like, give it a one rip like a lawnmower, and then we'll call it done. I don't want to spend 19 days with a bead a day popping out of my sphincter.
Jameson says
Great analogy.
there could be some honor in that. Did you ever see Honorable Man?
Oh, yeah. Did
Ryan's
you ever see
babe.
Honorable Men? Yeah. Hello. I mean, he goes, you know what? We'll talk about it later. Watch Honorable Men.
And the courts are going to see that. That's cool.
Thanks for the
You
meal.
sit here and lie and say, nope, didn't do that. Nope, that wasn't me. And then you come out lying about everything, and then no one's going to want to help. They're going to want to hammer you.
Yeah, sex pests are one thing, but lying sex pests?
You're going to get some
Right.
help. Is there anyone you want us to contact?
But not
No.
that, really quick, not that he could have kickflipped this, but there are people out there who could kickflip what they have into something not, right? I bring Sarah Boone up a lot because she could have been like, whoops, I'm sad, that was an accident, and she basically gets a slap on the wrist instead of second-degree murder charges. I don't think anyone on To Catch a Predator or sit right down and have a seat with Chris Hansen or any of those things, you could be like, because like Sarah was coming down the half pipe, right? And she was never going to land the trick. This is her first time on a skateboard, but if she played her cards right and the fates smiled and everything aligned, she could have come up the other side of that pipe, done a little wobble, fallen onto the other side, scraped up her knee, and they go, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "I think so." And we'd all have our
The end.
that would be it. But she decided to like pitch a fit, kick the board, like stick her finger down her throat and puke on one of the referees. And then, everybody goes, what the fuck? But like, there are some... It's like that fish, that tiny South American fish that swims up your pee hole, right? Once the barbs are set, it can only go in one way. So you stop pushing and stop pulling until you find a doctor.
Yeah.
No one is doing that in this room.
No.
The pea fish.
Did you make a phone call yet?
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
Yeah, you want to call Dunkin' Donuts?
Well,
Who else are you
my
going to
name is
call?
Beth, and
Just wish this was a bad tree.
So he doesn't want to call his parents.
Right.
She offers to give him a phone call at some point. Maybe that was it right there. But
Yeah.
and he says, no, thank you. I don't need to. Are you going to call my parents? Or can you call my parents? And no, you're an adult. One thing I read in getting ready for this is that I didn't realize this triggered it, but have you ever heard the phone call between Vincent Ambrosio's parents and the decoy?
No.
So there's a call out there, and I mean, maybe you could just find it by search on YouTube, but it's been years since I heard it. But yeah, his parents, because he doesn't call his parents, they don't know where he's at, and they end up calling this decoy, and
No way.
asking her like, they thought that she was like computer generated, and they start hounding her, and then he calls back and portrays like he's the police, like, and he's he's serious about this. I need to know who you are and what happened to my son, and but then you can hear him during the phone call, like kind of muffling the phone and talking to his wife, like, I think this is computer generated or something like that.
Wow.
It's a trip. So anyways, that's an addendum to this whole story that you should check out.
Right, because there's got to be the mechanics of that, right? Like people like Tennis Boy or all the ones that are like on the youngish side of things, like, whatever, Todd Spikes or Kelly or oh God, Morrison, generic white male, like their parents aren't going to be like, oh, maybe Donnie's will, but like most of them aren't going to be like, oh, where's my kid?
Yeah. No, Todd Spikes, isn't he like probably in his early 40s, late
Todd
30s?
Spikes was like in his 60s.
What?
He was an old dude. He was the guy who showed up with the
Older, yeah.
arsenal from Flagler Beach. He was the ex-police officer from like Texarkana or whatever.
I don't know if I'm thinking of the right guy.
You're
The guy that
definitely
wears an
not.
all black. Who's the guy that comes in
No,
all black
who
and he
the hell-
immediately asks for a lawyer and he's like,
Todd West.
Todd West.
Not
Okay.
Todd Spikes.
My bad.
Jesus.
He's the one I want to know about. Todd West is who I want to know about.
Yeah, why don't you look at those trading cards that I made? All the stats are on the back.
To grow as you gut it
I didn't
out.
do my wife's spreadsheets right.
Seriously.
First time I've cried in months.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
What? No
You
way.
look at that as a good thing?
Yeah, seriously. Right?
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, Ryan.
So this could be the first.
That's even worse than Todd West and Jeremy Todd West. At least they have West.
Look, Todd is all I can think of
Yeah,
is
except
Todd.
one was in Flagler Beach and the other one was in fucking...
I don't know locations. I always like guess Murphy whenever
you're
Big
no
Salmon does
lover
something.
woman genius.
Don't mess with Murphy.
Change.
Upper woman genuine.
Genuous.
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't mean with this stuff, I mean with my life in general. This stuff I'm not gonna do again.
You're not gonna do this
No,
again.
it was stupid. Like I said, it was more just to get my mind off the stuff and...
His
somebody
arms are
talked
so
to me.
extended. I wanted to like hold her hand.
Do you,
Yeah, really.
Looks like a scene from The Departed. But yeah, like that's another thing. Like whatever excuse, excuses are like conspiracy theories because they'll fall apart under their own weight. Because if you don't care or you're looking to cut slack or whatever, he'll say something like, "I was just looking for some way to kill time. All that time I got in my hands, I just." Model railroads, nope. RC cars, couldn't do it. I went and looked at the Connect's Ferris wheel. It was too expensive, so I ended up with the 12-year-olds.
Yep.
Yep, just looking for a hobby. Ended up at the skate park with my rad dudes.
Find other targets
My
to
what
just
sounded
talk
just like them.
I guess I could. Well, the thing was with Jenna, she actually talked to me mostly on the whisper thing, because it's anonymous. Once I send my pictures, and they stop talking to me. Picture of my face.
Of my face, not my penis.
Yeah, by the time they scrolled through, it was like face, body, dick, and it was like lights out.
Just talking on whisper. If you are talking with a 12-year-old, even if they're lying about their age, you're going to get yourself arrested. When we do search warrants on that
I was
kind of
just
stuff
bored.
all the
It's
time.
just the
Nothing
internet.
anonymous.
Grabbing stray dandruff off his shirt.
Do not rest in.
Yeah, I'm always bored. You know me. I'm always bored. Nothing to do around here. So when I'm bored, I whip open any one of my internet apps and start trolling for children. Like, I don't go down to Michael's. I don't go down to, like, any sort of arts and crafts store to pick up one of those Bob Ross canvas and easel sets for $180. You know what? I grab myself a Whisper account and I start whispering away. And, the hours just fly by. I mean, sure. Some people at the end of 6 hours have like a really sweet and very authentic Dale Earnhardt NASCAR. And I got a jail sentence. Doe.
Thing being anonymous.
Should have made an F-15
Is
Tomcat.
there anything on your phone that we're going to find? Because we are going to do a search warrant for your phone.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there was a link in my notes with stuff with girls.
There might be some bestiality on there. Like I did find some stuff like that on there, but I had to get rid of that because I was like, what?
Dude, how burly to even have a link to CP on your phone. That means you were out there looking for it, dude. How just brazen and crazy and
Right, and he's not.
just demented are you that you actually have a link to actual CP?
Saved in
I
your
didn't
notebook.
stumble across that. I don't
The
believe.
worst part of it is it's like just a shade of clever, right? Because it's not like there's just files. There's not files, pictures, videos on his phone, right? There's a note in a pad
Right, you're
somewhere
right, yeah.
that has a link to a repository.
Yeah.
That's almost
That's dude,
it's
burly.
it's like the stupid version of the porn folders. So if you want to hide porn from somebody,
You can make your thing
you make-
invisible.
just make a list of folders A through Z, and then pick a word, and in each of the folders there's another A through Z, and you just know the word to spell, and then you get to the thing.
Huh.
Dude, look at you've done it before.
No, I never did. I had a pervert, I suspect a sex pervert friend who used that method. They just had 24 folders, and
What
then
was
you
their
would
word?
just spell. I didn't ask. I didn't know what porn they were saving, but
Hello, don't call me Lorne.
Don't Call Me Lorne. Welcome. Now you can use that porn folder. That's free. Don't Call Me Lorne. That's
free.
gratis from FFOP Radio.
Videos.
It's a link, so his
Where did you
not
get
so
those?
tech savvy parents can't find it, right?
Well, yeah, because like they'd have to like find a note in
Like
a
look at it, like
go
note
to
of
the Notepad app and like find, and it was probably labeled something innocuous. We've all
Right.
been there.
Groceries.
Somebody sent me from Whisper.
From where?
Whisper.
And they look like girls under 16
Yeah.
having intercourse?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
on
on
it.
it.
I recently got it.
How many videos?
I don't know. It's something I think people just keep adding videos to.
So
That
he's-
could have opened up a whole thing.
yeah, that's the thing. He's like, it's just something that keeps getting uploaded. So he's like, he somehow got invited to a revolving server of fresh CP.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, dude. You had to go looking for that. That's hardcore, man. Like you don't accidentally find that on the hub. Like that's something that I would
Yeah.
assume you were soliciting because
Yeah.
This
you
is
know,
some
what
Silk
rando
Road.
would say, "Oh, you might like this. Let me share this with you,
Right.
and put myself at risk."
He's
No,
like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
God, who else did that? So when you get it, it's yours. You don't share porn. It was Dustin McFetridge. He doesn't share porn, but like,
Yeah,
this dude exclusively, like he's got an invite to a server somewhere, and God knows how he got that invite, right? Because like, how do you get a link to a highly illegal thing without like getting vetted and shit?
Not to make it
it's
a
the most
conspiracy.
illegal thing. I mean, like I could see a rando offering to sell you drugs.
Bingo.
Long before I could just see some random person saying, "Hey, you want a link to this website that I'm involved with?"
I can buy Elliot Stabler sneaking into an animal smuggling ring because he has a monkey and a basketball. That's a check that cashes itself.
Yeah, dude, there you go. There you go.
But I do wonder if this opened up a whole, like, they found this website, the cops found this website and, like,
Oh, yeah, they probably, every time they do, they have to,
shut
like...
that shit down.
But it probably takes some time, too. They probably get into it as much as they can. But if you're I'm sure he's a low-level user, Vincenzo here. You have to... I'm sure, like, 10 times out of 10 almost is just like a low-level dude who's got no access other than, like, read-only, and they just get chopped. Like,
Maybe the guy he had sex with is the one that gave him the website.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hey, thanks for the HJ. And P.S., let me shoot you a link over to your notepad.
It's their vetting process.
I do like that the folder was Vincenzo.
That's so much work to get to that one thing.
There's no such thing as too much work when what you're doing is a crime against God, man, animals, and every other living being.
I agree. But yes, I mean...
It's everything from animal to vegetable and mineral finds us abhorrent. But you know what, Vincenzo? Let's go easy on that, right? That's a little too much. Yo.
Or something? Is that what it is?
I don't know, I think box or something it's called.
Box.
Box of
By the way, box of cocks.
Box of Polaroids.
He was caught in October of 2015 by the sting with Hansen. In May of 2016, the following spring, let's see what it says here. They served a warrant for 2 phones that he was in possession of and found CP on those phones. This is like, after whatever 7 or 8 months when he had every opportunity to straighten out his life and stuff. They still were able to seize 2 phones of his and find.
Did he go to jail?
CP.
Probably.
Yeah, he did 30 months.
Yeah. But
30?
This is this is one of those
Damn.
things where the altruistic or the whatever, the yin side of me wants to be like, yeah, people are redeemable and all this other stuff. However, the yang side goes, well, every time we do that, they have 2 phones full of CP after a year out in the whatever. Like,
Right.
Very few of this type of offender ever get, because the thing is that the whatever the mechanism is that turns on this weird gross switch is so powerful that it goes beyond just being like, don't do it or you're going to jail. Like, they already know that it's wrong. Like, they're hiding it. They know what jail waits for them at the end of this rainbow, and it still is not enough to stop. So it's insane to me that we'll just go like, hey, gross, stop it. Now don't. And then they go, yes, sir, Mr. Officer, or the court. And then, 17 years later, Dustin McFetridge still can't pass like a sex offender class.
Right.
Like, he's going to be the only guy. He's like a super senior times a million. We all knew those dudes who failed senior year and had to do it again. Where, like, imagine if that guy kept failing and, like, your kids were now going to their senior class with the dude you went to your senior class with. That's fucking Dustin.
That's ridiculous. That's pretty funny, though. Yeah, imagine, Dustin McFetridge. Oh, my God, dude. He started his sex offender class with a guy who then had kids who grew up to also be sex offenders, and now they go to the same class with
Seriously.
Dustin. That's ridiculous.
And imagine being the first sex offender's kids, right? Where, like, you're carrying on that tradition of being a piece of shit, and you roll into class and be like, whoa, you're the guy my dad talked about who bought the electric razor and drove the bluish purple PT Cruiser. And he's like, that's me, old Dusty McFett.
Oh, dude.
That's his. That's his
wrestling too.
Yeah, he's a
Still
wrestler.
driving the PT Cruiser.
Yeah. No, that's his Star Wars bounty hunter name, Dusty McFett.
Dusty McFett. That's right.
That's why he's a sex pervert. He ate a lot of lead too.
Nothing else. something that pertains to
Jameson says,
Are we gonna see?
I worked at a grocery store once, and while loading the newspaper machine, I found that somebody had stashed a bunch of adult magazines that seemed like an odd place to hide it. You'd have to pay $1 every time you want to read them.
Right. Huh. Well, here's the thing. Those newspaper things, like once you put in the 50 cents or whatever the price of entry is, you can pull out as many as you want. Like there's no stopping you. Because spoiler alert, and here's a little side story as well. If you grew up in the 90s, sometimes you would find like not necessarily pornographic magazines, but like the Craigslist ads that were in print. So it would be a bunch of escorts and shit, and they'd be behind like a 75-cent paywall or whatever, and all the vaginas and nipples would have like poorly copied and pasted stars or rectangles or ovals or whatever. But hey, to a 12-year-old with 75 cents in your pocket and half a chub already, it didn't matter. Right? Yeah. You go, oh, you think you can stymie this dude because you put a black star the exact size and shape of a nipple over a nipple? Guess what? I'll just blur these babies.
Yeah, it was a life hack, man. It was a youthful life hack.
Yeah, for like 75 cents, you can essentially get like, I mean, hello, like just put a little like black oval over the vagina, and you go, oh, well, what am I missing out? Like a small black line instead of a round black blob? I can picture it.
So another girl I met on the Whisper thing, she had cancer. So I was talking to her about that and friendly.
Maybe in common days, but back in the old days, man. But those stars, they were small enough to get by. As I'm getting at.
What was her name?
Jameson.
Oh, she said. She said she's from Jersey too.
Just like Spoon saying, that was the way we got by.
We had a lot in common. We both kind of.
Ugh, his obnoxious pockets are still out there like flags.
I was just talking to her on the kicks thing.
Okay. Anything else that we would find?
No.
Various angles of my wiener.
I mean, that's nothing compared to the link.
But that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, just
Like, let's be real. I'm going to pose this to literally anybody watching this now or in the future. You answer at your own leisure. Like, imagine on your phone, you've got like a professionally done 3D scan of like your genitals just sitting there, like ready to be 3D printed. Like it's in every detail exact, right? And it's even like flesh colored. So it looks like full blown real like that. Or even like a single image of something that doesn't qualify as CP, but is like a child that you're not related to, like without a shirt at a water park.
Ooh.
I would rather have a copy of everyone I'm related to's genitals on my phone to be like, yeah, it's for a family tree thing, than to have like a single, like wayward accidental snapshot of like somebody else's kid at a pool.
Oh, dude, that's gross.
And this dude's like, yeah, I got a link. I got a hyperlink to a revolving carousel of gross.
Oh.
I'm going to start scanning my genitals tonight, people, just to be safe.
Yeah, good idea. Then you can have a revolving carousel of links to your genitals.
Hell yeah.
If you want to talk to me,
Then when other people get arrested, the police will find that link on their phone and they'll come knocking on my door and I'm like, yeah, is it illegal to scan your genitals? I'll slam my door in their face.
Is that against the law?
Yeah. Yeah, I use LiDAR on my nuts. Is that against the law, pig? I slam the door. Open it back up really quickly to splash some coffee in their face. You know, I'm a very angry guy.
you want to talk about?
With the bell, I said I felt like I fell in love. It's just
Yes, he did say someone had cancer or something.
Yeah.
In his
so lonely.
Not one of the people he sexted, though.
no.
Just like Twink Toilet's best friend's mom,
I don't know
a.k.a.
if I
Kenneth
told
Branklin's
you,
mom.
I told, maybe I said in the car. My grandfather didn't even go to the hospital today. It was just, I said it because I didn't want to come.
How would that have prevented you from coming?
Because it gave me an excuse not to come.
Right. So you put out an excuse for you not to come, but you still.
She got mad. Like I said, I felt bad because
She said she was going to break all of her Polly Pockets. And I said, no, your parents spent hard-earned money on that. Fine, I'll disregard my ailing grandfather and come see you. You 12-year-old child.
Her mother just left her. And I figured I could just go sit and watch movies with her or something.
Ugh.
I really don't want to do anything to her. I didn't want to.
To her again.
To her, yeah. I just noticed that. Good call.
Talking with the wrong head.
Talking with the wrong head.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think he goes through that thing like if you ever have a beard and you're gonna shave it for something, you go through the stages of like pulling off the chin first, and then maybe giving yourself some chops and like seeing how many styles you can pull out of it. You think he's got like an album of different hairstyles over his joint? It's like the fro, the Jerry curl, the General Stonewall, the Hitler, everybody.
The Rasta.
Oh yeah, the Rasta where he gets like some dreads and he puts some like red, orange, or red, green, and yellow beads in there. Hey, not for nothing. If I had them, I'd cornrow the pubes.
Oh yeah.
Pull those braids out and have a nice little crinkle cut fry stash above your joint there.
Oh my god.
The Coolio.
The Coolio.
You just gotta talk
Yeah, this truly was a dangerous mind.
to someone else.
Michelle Pfeiffer did love it though.
She had a heart attack.
It's like a Pretty Woman montage. Yes, thank you.
Have you ever had a heart attack?
No.
Have you ever tried to hurt yourself?
You ever tried to have a heart attack?
Yeah, once I had taken 20 of Dad's.
In a way, this is a funny story.
When was that?
That was a year ago. About a year ago.
You took
He took 20 of his what?
His dad.
your dad's
Oxy.
Oxycodone, Oxycontin, something like that.
Like, here's the thing. I'm sure you can OD on Oxy because, like, it's an opioid. But, like, I don't know if 20 is enough to do it for a first timer, especially with the caveat of him being 3 bills plus. Like,
Which is what comes across as somewhat funny. It's not funny that someone, if he actually tried to take his life, of course, I mean, I could feel for someone in those dark moments. It's like, I want to die. But just the way he answers when she says, "And what happened?" And he says, "I slept for 3 days."
right. Like, he just got ultra stoned and then woke up. Like, but I guess, I don't know. I don't want to pontificate on anything like that, like spooky, but like, it does feel like since it carries so much weight, it's easy to drop, especially if you're an idiot and you do something stupidly. Like, you're like, oh, I was so upset. I just had like 7 Tylenol and I thought it would kill me or whatever. Like, don't say that. I don't know.
And then what happened?
I slept for 3 days.
Anyone check on you?
Oh yeah, I woke up and talked to Mom, and I rolled back over and went back to sleep because that's all it did to me.
Okay.
It just made me tired. I thought maybe
That didn't kill
me.
House.
Right.
Did you ever talk about that with the doctor?
No, I never said that to anybody.
No.
Except Mom.
I'm only
Mom
telling that
hated
to you because I feel like we have a bond.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, why would you tell anybody that can help you?
yeah. Why tell somebody that when you can wait until like you're in a police station when like, here's the thing. I understand that like they're both, this is the only correlation I can pull is like they're both professionals, right? A psychiatrist and a police officer. They both start with the letter P, even though psychiatrist is a misnomer. However, when you get in front of someone who has a badge instead of like a pair of half glasses, there's something in the human.
Tell your therapist.
Yeah, like we're all just so desperate to, like, only when forced, maybe, like when there's no other options, we're so desperate for help. We'll just anyone in front of us will be someone we unload all of our garbage onto, and like others in our species bank on that because most of these sad sacks have no one to talk to. So you just show anyone a little compassion and they're like, okay, here's why I committed all the crimes. And then as soon as they go, oh man, that's tough. Like you're a strong boy and there's honor in that. And you're a good old kid. And good luck with that New York Cowboy shit. As soon as that door closes, she's going to be like, yep, beefaroni it is. And like throw some hands in the air because she's been texting her boyfriend all night.
Right.
Well-rehearsed tirade, Chatterbait Billy. He should have taken 20 Tylenol like Lauren if he was serious.
I said, what, you know.
Jamin says he's like Brian from the Breakfast Club. He was going to use a flare gun.
Woof! That'd be rough. That's funny because when I read Allison say Chatterbait, I was like, King Cobra?
Well, I had to be like, where was Chatterbait? Because I didn't see his name pop up. And I was like, oh, CB, got it.
I didn't want to double back because I didn't want to go back to like a 4 Winds thing.
What was 4 Winds?
It's it's like a inpatient hospital for people that want to hurt themselves and people with medical illnesses and want help.
Is that in New York?
In a suitcase.
When were you there?
Better be Samsonite.
2014 when I was trying to graduate high
Samsonite.
school.
It's way up.
I had stopped going to school. I was in bed all day. The sheriff came and picked me up from the house and brought me in and talked to.
So here's the thing. Again, there are people in this situation like all the time. And my heart like feels for that aspect because I've been in dark situations myself where like stuff like this happens, but I've never gone on to like commit crimes and then just say I wasn't feeling good. Because no matter how bad I felt or like, you know, how dark your thoughts get, whether you're thinking about doing something to yourself and try or not, like it feels extra scummy playing on people's squeamish attitude toward, number one, mental health, number two, self-harm, and everything that everybody everywhere doesn't want to talk about around a Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you throw it at a police detective hoping to appeal to their humanity. But the problem is they've seen people like put babies in microwaves. So by the time you're here talking about being catfished by a hypothetical 12-year-old by Tetrad Core, a company that sounds like it should be a part in your gaming PC, it loses a little luster.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I've been sad, never like attempted to take anybody's life or virginity. But when I was a virgin, I was sad. So there's that.
Jameson says, I feel for him too. I had a father who was overweight. I get it.
Right? Yeah, we all you get a fat. It's not, you get one fat parent and you're a sex pervert. That's how it happens.
Crisis unit came and they said, well, why don't we try going, because none of the pills working, so I said, why don't we try going to 4 Winds? So I went to 4 Winds. I was there from April to end of May. And they said, oh, these pills, yeah, take them, they should help. Yeah, okay. 5 months later, still feeling crap. I switched doctors, switched medication, and still feel like crap.
Being bad at being a human isn't necessarily a doctor issue. If you get behind the 8 ball of socially inept parents, checked out parents, any number of problems can put you behind the 8 ball socially. It's up to you to like understand that the dynamic of humanity is you have to figure out how you can slide into this machine and work. If you keep pulling yourself out to get greased up with this or medicated with that or lubricated with this or that, you spend all your time in the shop. You're not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing. Or you're waiting in the waiting room of the shop, shunning interaction because you're waiting for the new grease or the new pill or the new powder.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is it can lead to situations like this where there's a myriad of ways that this can manifest where like you sort of gravitate to the other undesirables, you find a niche hobby, you are one of those weirdos who's young but calls yourself an old soul because you're just not socially adept at talking to the kids or people your own age. Or you do that thing where you just regress and maybe there's something wholesome in it, like you want to regress and become a child again because your childhood was yada, yada, yada. But when you stick some adult chemicals in that sack of yours, like the whole like, oh, this Mighty Max game is super fun can suddenly turn weird if you just get like rubbed the wrong way on the carpet or you take a tumble of weird, you know what I mean?
Oof, yeah.
Like nothing that my kid is going to do is going to give him like a sexual awakening before it's time.
Right.
Because he's a kid and that's going to happen later. If after your sexual awakening you go back to being a kid, you can find yourself doing gross things.
You just find yourself right where he is.
Yeah.
Jameson says, "Hey Doc, any pill you could prescribe that'll make me not want to violate kids?"
What's that? It's a chemical castration, but that's like basically the only way. Or
Yeah.
you take your nuts clean off, like that guy in SVU. You drop
yeah.
trow in the public library. Be like, no nuts. What are you gonna do? Arrest me?
You want to do it raw? What's that?
Raw?
The thing is,
No rubber.
nothing works. Just, I don't want to go on anymore. It's just, I keep screwing up. I can't pass high school. I screw up.
That's another key component, right? If you keep saying, oh, I keep screwing up, whose fault is that? Self-awareness is one person's responsibility. And if the only time you are able to find that moment of clarity is when you're getting your ass grilled by a teacher, a parent, or a cop, you're fucked. Like, yeah, you keep screwing up. I get that. When I keep screwing up, by the third time I go, this is fucked, and I change it because I don't want to be one of these morons who has to be like, well, it's a funny story, detective. There's 17 bodies mulched up in my basement, and it's all because...
I screwed up.
How do you start that story?
Good job. I can't get a job. I don't have any motivation to get out of bed.
Get a job.
I screw up with taking care of Grandpa. Sometimes I won't even get out of bed to get him up in the morning. And I make Dad do it. He's crippled.
Well, listen, you are in a situation where you don't have to make any more decisions for yourself.
Nice.
Because you're gonna have people
We're
on
doing
the-
that for you.
What a fun way to spin that into a silver lining, right?
Right, yeah.
You worry about nothing for the next 2.5 years.
But here are the things you never have to worry about for the next 30 months. When to wake up, how long you get to shower, and when you get to shit. Take those off your plate because we're going to hit that shit covered. And basically everything else is just going to be goalie tending your butthole.
And we'll see if we can get you those medications that are right for you. But probably not.
But you also have to know that it gets better. And part of this with your mental illness challenge is your age. And things are going to level out. You got hormones going crazy on top of trying to deal with being bipolar.
And a zillion pills, like Jesus.
I just encourage you to hang in there. Well, it feels like that at 19, I get it. But I really encourage you to hang in there. But for right now, for today,
You're going to
you don't
jail.
have to make any more decisions, okay?
We'll escort you
Have
to where you need to go.
Which way are you going to cuff me front and back?
You want to be in front? Okay.
It don't matter.
Which way are you going to cuff me, front or back?
If they're offering, like, why would you want them behind your back?
Doesn't he look a little bit like the clown balloon from the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson? Like, this is the type of balloon he tries to poison Gotham City with that Batman has to save everyone with the plane.
Nice pull.
And he shoots Bob.
He does, yes.
Anyway, that's what that's for you. There's our Vincent Ambrosio, right? Tons of excuses, no real accountability, the confusion of police officer versus psychiatrist. We had it all.
The whole
yeah.
thing.
We even got to find out how long she'd been a detective.
18 years.
Typically, it only comes up in bingo. Woof. So, that's the thing about Vincent. He's not super... I don't know.
He stole my balloons.
I wouldn't say that anybody in the TCAP community or the alum who, like, none of their interrogations are, like, super juicy. I mean, there are some where they do drop a few bombshells, like Cologne or even Ambrosio here with having no sex, but actually having sex, and like, whoopsie daisy, I forgot. But it just seems like everybody who got to the suspects after Chris should have looked at not only the chat log, not only the pictures, everything that Perverted Justice or Tetrad Core collected, but look at Chris's old material. Learn some charisma points. Learn some things that get you, like getting the questions that only Chris would ask, because he's trying to serve an audience, whereas I get the police are just trying to get boxes ticked on a legal form.
Sure.
But it's the sugar versus or honey versus vinegar. Even though it does feel like it's a pretty vinegary honey coming from Chris, it's still sweet enough to pull shit out of them with no legal threats.
Right. Yep.
But, you know, I guess there's something to be said for a petite blonde detective being like, well, there's something honorable in admitting that you're a fucking weirdo.
And you're 19. Your hormones are crazy.
Yeah, you got your whole life ahead of you to deal with the fact that you're going to be a sexual predator. So, you know.
You're going to be on a list forever.
I guess look for some tall grass and start covering yourself in urine. What do predators do? I don't know.
Use Catherine Reed's accent.
I'm sure you have, Travis.
Have Vincenzo.
Tell you what, Vincenzo, why don't you hop into your Fiat? Yeah. No, Catherine Reed wouldn't know what to do with Vincent. She'd come in and be like, you want some Skittles? Like she did with D-Mac. And then, like, this lady would give her the eyes like John Dudinsky did, like fucking pound sand and get the fuck out of this room. She's like, all right, well, let me know if you need any medical issues, and fuck off back to her desk. All right, folks, that's all we got for you. Baked Salmon has been a wonderful guest. I hope you appreciate him as much as I have, because I love it every time you are on, my friend.
Well, thanks, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. This was a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do it again, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
I'm sure we will, Travis.
Sure we will.
We've got plenty of predators, and maybe we'll even slide into some non-TCAP alum and get people out there, but who knows? Plenty of stuff to cover yet, and I appreciate it. So... woof. You know what? Until next time, guys, this is me and Baked Salmon and Crystal. Will show up probably Wednesday. And you can try and get your name up here where Tony's name is.
Tony.
But that's it, guys. We'll catch you next time. Another episode of FFOP Radio. Thank you so much for showing up. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
For this, try to.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.